It's showtime.
Who are these socials?
Taking down the other podcasts one by one.
Who are these socials?
That clip is why people make fun of you.
With Carl
This is all just for the radio.
and Blind Mike.
We have a lot of business to take care of.
Who are these
We are
socials?
the number one podcast on the internet today.
WATS.
Welcome to yet another episode of WATS, the show thousands of people come to answer the age-old question, what's the deal with social media? This is the only podcast about social media that doesn't try to sleep with their viewers. I'm your host, Carl Hamburger, and with me as usual is Mike Geary, a.k.a. Blind Mike. What's up, Mike?
I just heard on a formerly popular radio show that we can actually go through and delete mean comments. So I'm going to be doing that after today's episode. You guys better be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I already alerted the staff over here at WATP. That's everyone's job now.
What's Chris doing right now? Probably nothing.
Hey, producer Chris, what are you making dinner? Delete
Ridiculous.
some negative comments for me over here. You know, there are rumors going around that I leaked sensitive information about Blind Mike to The Atlantic and that I won't read your super chats. The latter is simply not true. I will read every super chat that comes in, and I don't read so good. So if you'd like to support the program and participate in the program, I invite you to our super tip system. And that is at supertip.gg/WATP. That's where we have all the fun voices. You can have Adam Bush saying things that are ridiculous about himself, Anthony Cumia, Dr. Steve, E-Rock, Jerry Banfield, Joe Matarese, Lisa Boswell, Solar, Rob Saul.
Wow, the
Mike.
cast is really expanded.
We got them all. We got everyone you could possibly want out here now. So take advantage of that. We appreciate it very much. Now, Mike, the way that we start this show is different than most other podcasts, and new listeners aren't ready for it, which is why I explain what we're doing here. There's two hosts on this show, and we don't have a third Mike. It's just me and Mike. And what we do to start a show is, I think, a radical departure from other shows. And why not? We're in the world of podcasting now. There's really no barriers or limits. There's no reason why we should be not changing the game every chance we get. It's 2025.
Absolutely.
And so what Mike and I have done, this innovative approach to podcasting, is we start off with this conversation back and forth between the two of us, a little something I like to refer to as banter.
Now, to discuss the events of the day, Banter is the way to reflect on events of the day. Carl and Blind Mike, Banter! Banter!
And it's so seamless and integrated, there's even jingles for it. There's even stingers,
Right.
because that's just how good we are at
The
just
sign of any natural bit.
right, getting right into it. I want to tell you, Mike, because I don't know that you know what I do behind the scenes to prep for the show. We don't really talk about that too much, but I want to tell you something I did.
I have a picture in my mind, but it was sure.
Okay.
Let me
All right. Well, I want to tell you something that I did, because every time you do a show and I'm not there, you're blasting me. I'm not even exaggerating. It's like every show.
No, yeah. For the folks that don't watch me, he's not.
Talking about what a piece of shit I am. Every time I put in my
I've
earbuds,
taken
I'm like,
Tom Meyer's side.
every time I put in my earbuds, I'm like, oh, good, there's a new Blind Mike project. Let's see what he's talking about. Carl's a piece of shit. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
I want to let you know that Psychotic put up a Guess the Sound clip in our Discord. And I'm not going to play it because it is impossible and you would have lost.
Oh,
That's the kind of guy I am.
what a sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
All right. Just want you to know that there was
know
a furry eating French toast
I'm
in a
gonna
restaurant.
I'm gonna rewatch Tom Meyer's act with a discerning eye this weekend and see what I come
Please
up
do.
with.
Please
That's
do.
very kind of you.
I hope we can see eye to eye, so to speak, on
very
Tom
sweet.
Myers.
You know, I actually don't know if Cardiff's promo code is.
Thank you. God damn, I was about to sue everyone for that
Yeah.
ridiculous horse shit. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP. You can't save more money than with the promo code WATP when you go to hackamania.com. We'll be in Las Vegas. Looking forward to that in May. It's creeping up on us. was talking to Adam Bush today. He's going to try to make it to that.
Whoa.
That'd be cool.
He's willing to go there with all the gross people?
Well, I'll be there to protect him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. That's
All right. Let's talk about the news of the day. We have an update from last week's WATS. We covered Dan Bernstein, a
yes.
Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know there was an update. This is
You didn't? Okay. Well, this is fun. So if you remember last week, we talked about Dan Bernstein got in a little hot water because he showed a picture of him catching a fish. And then the guy's just like, you say you're conservative, but you're killing fish or whatever. And it escalated very quickly in the comments thread to he was threatening this guy's children.
Yep.
And so 670 The Score in Chicago decided to put him on leave. They're like, I want you to cool off there for a week, Dan.
Oh, maybe I do know this update. Okay.
I figured you might.
I forgot if it happened before or after the show. It was right around that time last week.
Yeah, it happened right after our show. So we knew that he was given a little paid leave. But now there's a new announcement. Dan Bernstein out at 670 The Score after social media threats. So he was fired.
What a shame. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Let me just read a little bit of this article. After threatening to dox a social media follower last week, longtime Chicago sports radio host Dan Bernstein is no longer with Odyssey 670 The Score. The station announced the news during their midday show Friday afternoon, which Bernstein previously co-hosted alongside Marshall Harris. And so apparently Mitch Rosen, the vice president and brand manager of The Score, came on, and I actually have the clip of this. This was the big announcement. This is how radio works.
Yeah.
In 2025.
From The Score. We want to share some important news with our Score listeners, partners, and teammates. We are announcing today that Dan Bernstein no longer works at The Score. We wish him nothing but the best.
Right.
And thank him for his time in service.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Thank you.
Why do it
Chicago's
like
number
that?
one and most listened to sports station.
Yeah, what is the point of that? It
That was-
satisfies no one.
Why are they so against having natural conversation? Have the guys on that show talk about it and be
Right.
like, he was a bit of a hothead. He deserved it. He didn't deserve it. Fuck the station.
Yeah, callers
Whatever they
can
wanna
call
say about
in
it.
and say they love Dan and this is ridiculous, or they can say that he was out of line and it was time to cut ties.
And you know what that does? Boosts ratings for 4
Right,
hours.
gets people talking. Well, your good buddy Dave Portnoy,
Sure.
he knows how to do this.
Right.
He put out a video
Oh, yes.
where
Yeah.
where he was talking about the fact that Dan Bernstein was fired. And of course, this goes back, you were talking about on the show last week, there was a little rift between Barstool.
Only a few
and-
months ago. Yeah, I was actually
Yeah.
surprised that Portnoy dedicated a champagne bottle to this guy
Yeah.
because it wasn't really him. It wasn't his fight, but I think it was just because it happened to, like, Eddie, by all accounts, is like a very nice guy, so there was no reason for it. So I think Dave kind of took it on, and I've never seen a champagne bottle get opened this quickly. I was actually happy for him.
Yeah, so Dave went around and toasted his firing with the staff. Had a lot of fun with that. So that's the latest on Dan. Don't threaten people's children if you can help it.
Like I said last week, I don't think he should have been fired for that, unless he's doing that all the time. I don't know what his history with that shit is, but it didn't seem like he was serious. It just seemed like internet shit talk to me. So I wasn't like rooting for him to lose his job, but it is one where I'm like, I get it. It's not even a free speech thing. He's making threats online.
You don't need a guy like that on your staff.
Right.
It's only volatile. So I understand they were hoping it would die down. Like, let's give it a week, it'll die down, but it did not. So they're like, okay, we gotta get rid of this guy. It's too much.
Yeah. If he
Negative
if that's the
publicity.
thing is, if he wasn't a dick, I'd be going to bat for him more. But my only context of knowing him is that he seems like a real cunt.
Yeah. He seems like a raging asshole.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys like that on radio, in my experience, who are very thin-skinned and get annoyed easily. It's just like, why do you care?
I guess maybe all media, but sports media in general. Maybe because what they're doing, like if a reporter in Iraq or something takes himself seriously, you could spin it that he deserves to.
Yeah.
Sports reporters, like, They're like, don't you understand? I'm in the Red Sox press box every day. It's like, who gives a shit, man? You're a loser.
You get to ask one question of the manager after the game.
And now they're
day.
irrelevant, and they still think their shit doesn't stink.
Yeah. So that seems to be his demise. We'll see if he'll probably come out with a podcast or something, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Something we'll have to pay attention to.
Yeah. Burning Questions or some terrible name. Some play on his name or something.
The Bernstein on my reputation.
Yeah, I like that.
So speaking of guys who have to go into podcasting because they're no longer doing their mainstream media gig, Joe Gatto of the Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, I like Joe Gatto. This was sad.
You do?
I think the Impractical Jokers is good for what it is. I think there's a lot of it that's become like very corny, but like I like those guys. Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about the Impractical Jokers. I know that Brian Quinn Q is on there, who's a friend of my friend Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
But we reviewed Joe Gatto's podcast, Two Cool Moms.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not great. I shouldn't act like I'm a fan of Joe Gatto, the performer.
That's what I was wondering.
I've heard his stand-up was.
I'm going to play some of his stand-up in a minute. But first, let's go over the news. People Magazine reporting here. Impractical Jokers, Joe Gatto cancels tour and enters inpatient facility in wake of sexual assault allegations.
So I always ask this when people do that. And I'm thinking of like less serious cases. It's usually like, I tweeted something and now I'm going to rehab. But like in this case, is he just saying like he's a rapist? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that admitting guilt?
Yes, this is what's so crazy about this. Thank you for saying that. Because I don't understand what type of inpatient facility you would go to for trying to fuck young fans.
Yeah, like hey, a girl DM'd me and I fucked her. And I actually, when I saw the Instagram post, and this is my general, I question things like this, but I did say, I was like, it kind of seems like he hooked up with a fan. I'm not seeing.
No, Mike. There's grooming going on. You see, these are young fans. These are very young fans that I think he was communicating with before they were.
They're very young. Oh, I didn't realize that.
I believe so. If I'm not mistaken on this, I haven't done a ton of research. Well, let me read the article and see what it says. It says Joe Gatto is entering an inpatient facility after becoming the subject of a sexual assault and harassment allegation. A source tells People that the comedian, best known for starring in Practical Jokers, decided to cancel his upcoming tour dates. Gatto previously denied the allegations, but said in a statement, "I have used poor judgment and as a result have violated the trust of the people I love most." So Joe Gatto is taking time to focus on himself. 48-year-old Impractical Joker star will be entering the... Oh, God, I hate how these articles are written. They're just... I know it's for SEO. They repeat the same
bios
shit.
And yeah.
Having taken some... Oh, so here's a quote. Taking some time to reflect, I've decided to voluntarily enter an inpatient program to continue working on myself. The married father of two said in a statement, "I just want to thank my friends, family, and especially my family. Wait, I'm sorry. I just want to thank my friends, fans, and especially my family for all of their support. Never more so than over the last few days." And of course, he canceled everything. He was accused of sexual assault. A former employee also came forward about her negative experience with the comedian. On March 20th, a TikTok user who goes by Juicy B accused Gatto of sexually assaulting her. She was 19 in a series of now deleted videos, allegations which Gatto denied. Shortly after, a second woman, his source who previously worked for Gatto during his time in the Practical Jokers, claimed the comedian exhibited unwanted behaviors that she described as sexual harassment. Okay, so maybe I was wrong about the underage. I'll tell you why I was thinking that, because there's another guy from Impractical Jokers who might have some issues going on. All right, well, let me get right to that. Then we'll get back to
damn it.
Gatto
I
stand
like these guys.
James Murray.
Okay, all right. My least favorite, at least. It's not Sal Volcano.
It's not Sal. I know. It's not Sal or Q, so that's good. It's glad to hear that. But I just saw someone posted this in our Discord, but this just leaked. Frank on X posted a second allegation of grooming has hit the Impractical Jokers. And there's a screen grab here of James messaging with a fan And this is the one I was looking at a second ago, and now it looks like it's different. Oh, here we go. Hey, can you do me a favor? Please don't put what I told you about turning 18 on a public message board on a Facebook fan page, okay? This is from 2012, I should mention. This is 13 years old.
Okay, all right.
I don't like my private messages shared with fans. Know what I mean? Also, the network sees these pages, and that's embarrassing for me. I'd love if you could please delete all those posts. Thanks, James.
Huh.
Please don't put what I told you about turning 18 on a public message board on our Facebook fan page.
That's interesting.
You never want to type those words into a DM to someone.
It's a tough look, yeah. Is there no sacred text messages anymore? What's happening?
I know. Honestly, Mike, I'm sure you feel this way too. Yeah. When I text someone, I just assume that's going to get out there at some point.
I do. That is how I behave now. But there is an element of like, does it all have to be? Do we have to go, look what he said? And then we have no context for what your prior conversation was.
Right.
It seems very dirty to me.
The worst is when they delete their responses and you just see the creepy text from the guy.
Well,
that's what were you saying back? This escalated quickly. What's going on?
So that's what the first girl accused Joe Gatto of.
Okay.
I'm not totally well versed in this, but I just watched a couple videos on it. And she said that I guess you can delete Twitter messages. I didn't know you could delete messages so that the other person couldn't see them.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
But apparently you can, and that's what she said that Joe Gatto did. Is like he deleted a certain timeline of their messages, so it looked like they stopped communicating or something like that. I mean, is what she was accusing.
That's due diligence right there. Honestly, if you're not deleting everything you post on social media within a few weeks, you're crazy.
Yeah,
it can only hurt you.
I have that with Steve Robinson, former KMS producer, gave me great advice years ago that I have not followed. But he said, if it's older than 5 years, you should just delete it anyways. Because there's nothing you're like, oh, this is a great tweet I had 5 years ago.
It's not going to help your algorithm. It's only going to come back to haunt you.
But I'm embarrassed by where I'm like, I got too hyped about the Patriots and I look like a fanboy. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like that I'm embarrassed by. So never mind whatever my political takes were at that time or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever slurs I thought were hilarious. With
my voice exactly.
Back then, yeah. Do you want to Kevin Hart my next opportunity to do something big?
Yeah.
But I grabbed this link because I played this back in September when we covered Two Cool Moms, the Joe Gatto podcast that he does. Mm-hmm. And he was promoting his stand-up special that was going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he had like this teaser for it. So I wanted to play some of that, Mike. I know that you have some hot takes on stand-up comedy.
He's literally the guy, and it's rare. A lot of times comedians will be like, you guys know who I'm talking about, meaning the other comics, but the fans are like, fuck, who are they talking about? I've heard comics by name reference Joe Gatto as a guy that he's a celebrity that just did stand-up because he has a name and put out a special way too quick. Like Sal Vulcano is actually an example of a guy I use that could have done that and chose not to.
Right.
Like he took his time to develop his stand-up and was very meticulous with it. Joe Gatto was just like, all right, I need to make some money. I'm a stand-up now. And it was just headlining all over the country.
How appropriate not wearing your thick boy hat today.
It's true.
It works out well.
That's a good point.
For this conversation. All right, so this is the trailer. This is how he was promoting his special.
Okay. I don't even know why I'm like this, to be honest. I can't blame drugs. I've never even tried marijuana. Technically, it's a vegetable. Not for me. I did spark up a cannoli backstage, though, before I came out. Puff, puff pastry. All right. That's what...
All right, so...
Wait. Stuff. He's bombing in the room.
It's a theater, and he's bombing, and this is the trailer. These are the parts they said, like... These are the parts that just, like, people are going to need to see this special after they see this.
Why? I'm stunned by this because it seems like I think those are pretty shitty jokes, but like they seem like something his audience might laugh at. He's bombing in the room. That's crazy that he put this out.
This dude is fucking corny.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh no,
that is correct.
Now, this is assault.
That's why all my dogs are named after Italian pasta dishes and desserts.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Let me back that up. Listen to this premise.
A puff pastry. All right. That's why all my dogs are named after Italian pasta dishes and desserts. That's what makes sense for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got cannoli, biscotti, spumoni, tartufo, tiramisu. Yeah. Linguine, ravioli, the brother and sister fettuccine Alfredo. I got to go on that Star Wars ride that they built. And if you don't...
Okay, so that was the worst. That was terrible. It's just naming desserts and pastas.
But I don't get, how does that tie into him having dogs even?
That's what he names his dogs, I guess.
But why?
I don't know. He goes, that's what makes sense to me.
Oh no, Joe.
It's so bad. And listen, it reminds me of Joe Matarese. I've seen a lot of these Italian comedians who are just like, oh, all I got to do is say Italian words and people will go nuts for it.
That's what they think Sebastian Maniscalco's doing.
Correct. Yeah. They see Sebastian, they go, this guy is selling out every arena in the United States because he's going, forget about it. You know, oh yeah, Italian jokes. And it's just, no, you have to still write jokes.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, this girl got off lucky if she just had to blow him. She didn't have to listen to his act. Jesus Christ.
Well, we don't know that. He might have workshopped some of this stuff.
You know what?
With her.
She did get free tickets to his show. Maybe that's why.
No, that's
that was
awful.
the crime.
I know about it. They spent like hundreds of millions of dollars on this ride. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Are you kidding me? What a cool experience for me. Not for my 5-year-old son, who's never seen a Star Wars film or been on a ride. And we go into outer space where an intergalactic battle begins. The whole thing's shaking, people are screaming. I look, my son is hugging the guardrail going, I want to go back to Earth!
I can't believe this is the trailer.
This is the trailer. You know what? All right. Maybe, I don't know. I know you on Why You Laughing, you like to go through like your favorite stand-up specials and
Sure.
break it down, play some clips.
Yeah.
Can we do some kind of crossover where we check out this guy's full special?
Oh. But here's my issue with it. I've heard bombing before.
True.
I've never heard a guy bomb in his trailer. They usually do something with the way they edit it, whether adding crowd noise or have the music.
I think they were sweetening the jokes even in this, and it's still nothing.
Then that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Because it sounds like they're asleep.
It's not great.
This is wild.
All right. So anyway, good luck and impatient. We hope that everything works out for you. Figure out whatever you're. That's my other problem with this guy is that he tries to be all squeaky clean. Those are people you have to watch out for. Like Dave Portnoy spits in a chick's mouth and it gets out on the internet. So it's like, yeah, that's what I do.
People are like, you see this with the dog collar? We're like, okay.
Yeah.
That's all you had?
It's Dave Portnoy. We get it. But Joe Gatto's been like this squeaky clean guy who's just like, I don't do drugs and I'm a family man. Me and my wife and our kids. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like fucking these not little kids, fucking these younger.
Stop saying that.
I know. I don't know why I keep saying that. Much younger women is what he's up to. And he left Impractical Jokers for family reasons or personal reasons.
Yeah. So me and my girlfriend were talking about this where I was like, I wondered if that lines up. Like if this started coming out a year and a half ago or whatever, I was wondering if because it never made sense to me. Because I used to listen to Sal Vulcano's podcast with DeRosa.
Yep.
And I remember, I was like, why did Joe Gatto leave Impractical? They were like, well, he was going to get a divorce, and this stopped him from getting a divorce.
Right.
And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. He lost his job to not get divorced. I don't.
Because he even said, when I was doing the research on him last year, he even said, I got to work on my family and make sure things were right with my family. And it's like, that's a serious thing. If you have to leave your job where you're on television making serious money, and on top of that, it's a springboard for your stand-up tour and your podcast and anything else you want to do. You're on television.
But my thing was always like, don't do those other things.
Right. Well, right. Yeah. Those are
way more time-consuming to do stand-up.
Yeah.
If he was like, hey, I can't do the Impractical Jokers live shows anymore. I don't want to tour to be with my family. It never made sense to me why he left the TV show. So then when this came out, I was like, I wonder if there's got
to be a correlation.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, I want to thank the people who support this show. Of course, there's over 400 people watching right now. Thank you for being here. Who are these socials?
Yay, super chats.
And we do have supertip.gg/WATP where you can support the show and also participate. Venom Tony with $10 says, Hey, Carl. Hey, Mike. I was the guy that asked the Patreon question about comedy sequels. I might suggest a couple that aren't Mike Myers, Rush Hour 2. That aren't Mike Myers. Okay, so here, because I heard you respond to this too, where you're just like, oh, we can do Wayne's World 2.
I named it, Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, right. So his examples are Rush Hour 2.
Okay.
22 Jump Street.
Oh, yeah, that was not bad.
Scary Movie 2.
Yep.
Clerks 2. Love y'all.
Okay, yeah, those are all good suggestions.
Is Clerks 2 good? I remember the third one I was angry at.
Clerks 2 was the only one I knew for a while.
Okay.
So, yes, I think so. If I'm thinking of the right movie, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, I'll take your word for it, because for me, Kevin Smith is so hit or miss, and I really liked his early stuff, and then it got so far away from what I enjoyed.
Oh, Carl, my fave episode of South Park is the Sarcast Ball one where they drink Butter's cum. Reminds me of drinking Nick's Man juice.
Mine was the Nambla one because of my Keddy rape dungeon in Macon. How I like my minor boy meat in my mouth.
Oh.
We all have our favorite South Park episodes. Oh, wow. We got some interesting stuff from Woke Dad coming up later in the program.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
If you guys aren't dumping your tax return into Cobra Coin, you can suck my butt crack.
All right. Jerry Banfield coming in.
That's very exciting.
Thank you very much for that. Germs, whatever your name is, Pyron Mobile.
Well, thank you, buddy.
We appreciate that. Jade Allen became a new member of the channel. Thank you for doing that. Nice. As a member, you get all the bonus shows. We just did a bonus show. Mike and I just put a bonus show out this week.
Yes. Julia Fox, who was a WATS star and then stopped posting. It bums me out every time I go to her TikTok.
But thank God we have her book.
Yeah.
That is a real depiction of what her life was like. It's an autobiography. It's a memoir. It's 100% accurate. It's great.
It's stunning. I know I keep saying this probably too much, and then I heard you say it on ATP yesterday. It's stunning to me that we're 3.5 hours into this thing, and she's 14 years old.
She's 14 years old.
Doesn't make any sense.
I couldn't fill 5 pages of my life up until 14 years old if I really tried.
I don't have like real memories
Me
from
neither.
those ages.
I've got nothing. Paul Shea says, got to say, Trisha still would. I got some Trisha stuff coming up in a minute. Might change your mind. Matthew Rowley, $2 says, Carl and the Potatoes sucking trader live. Nice. Carl and the potato sucking trader live. I think he's talking about
me.
you. You're a potato sucking trader.
Well, I understand that allegation.
I get that too. Latest man on Mars, $2 says, Italian Americans basic beaches love this garbage. Yes.
Oh, and my mother's stirring the sauce.
Sunday gravy is what we call it. All right, we got it. The One Pawn says she tells her friends she blew Captain Fatbelly. Jade Allen now gifting 20.
Whoa.
Who are these podcast memberships?
My God.
Thank you very much. That's very generous. We appreciate the gifted memberships. And I will remind everyone, when you gift memberships during this program, Mike does get half of the cut.
Yes.
Even though we do this on Who Are These Podcast channel.
In perpetuity.
We share the wealth.
If they stay members, I get it forever.
That's right. I have to do a lot of calculating, a lot of math. My accounting team is getting deeper and deeper, but we figure it out. All right. I want to start off over on Instagram with maybe a new find for us.
Oh, interesting.
Blinded like Blind Mike. Don't be a douche. Instagram in the night. Blinded like Blind Mike. Check out these reels. They might make you want to fight.
Eric Nagel turned me onto this one. E-Rock.
Oh, I thought we were covering Eric Nagel for a
No.
second. Oh, okay.
E-Rock turned me onto this one. This is a guy named Austin Elliott.
Right.
He's at AWZY_E. He has 442,000 followers.
Whoa.
He's a proud Canadian. He puts out daily jokes. He's got Cameo. So I want to show you what some of his daily jokes are, because they follow a certain format. And you like jokes, I'm pretty sure.
I love jokes.
I think it's something that you and I have in common.
I love a good joke.
All right, well, let's see what Austin has for us here.
Okay.
Local auctioneer passed away this morning. I heard he was 75, 80, 85, 90, maybe 95, 100. Sold!
So he runs down the stairs and comes down towards where the camera is.
I don't think I hate it as much as you wanted me to.
Whispers the joke and then runs back up the stairs while cracking himself up.
I mean, he's no Wyatt Karam, but it's something.
In the description of this video we just watched, it says, HMU, hit me up for a custom video cameo in bio.
Okay.
So, Mike, if you enjoy this guy, I think I know
Maybe
what
someone died in your family he can make fun of.
I think I know what you're getting for your birthday. All right, well, here's another one. See if you enjoy this one, too.
All right.
What do you call a food fight at an all-you-can-eat buffet? All you can eat.
I don't like that he's a formula now. I don't know. Now he's lost me.
All right, well, let's see. Maybe he'll win you back with this one.
Okay.
I mean, not since Jackie Martling have I seen someone try to sell their jokes this hard. He just has to crack up laughing as he's running away from it.
I'm opening this new jewelry store. If anybody wants to help, give me a ring.
The auction one was not bad.
I'm partnering up with this company, Black Diamonds New York. If you guys want to go check it out, the link is in.
First time, I completely disagree. That was the first one I saw, and I went, this guy sucks. But what's crazy about this, so he just did the ring joke, and then there's more. Yeah, there's more to the video. Listen to this.
I'm partnering up with this company, Black Diamonds New York. If you guys want to go check it out, the link is in my bio. Maybe go get your girlfriend something nice.
So you can get 20% off your order.
I like the amount of work he did. A diamond shop reached out to him, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, there's something here. Let me mine for this one."
Do you think he's just reading a joke book? These are joke book jokes.
Pretty much, right?
He's not writing this shit. I can't imagine.
This is what if you said like, "Hey Alexa, tell me a joke about a jeweler." That's
right?
what she would have for you.
Correct. All right, I have one more example, but yeah, when I heard he had a partnership, I was like, wait, what? And that's when I looked to see how many subscribers he had, because I was just going and then watching these videos at first. I didn't realize 442. Maybe I should have played the joke first and then told you there's 442,000 subscribers.
Yes, that would have stunned me.
That would have been, yeah.
The quality of these videos are shit.
They're garbage.
And I don't really get the gimmick. I know everyone needs a gimmick, and I'm sure that's why he has 400,000 followers. I don't get the running in and out of the room. Why does that make it better?
I no idea.
That's very confusing.
He's kind of got a silly running style. It's not Kramer-esque, but like it's kind of that unique lanky guy who's doing the wacky walk thing.
I know I laughed at the first joke, but Kramer had a much better set than this.
Yeah, I agree. I wish there was someone heckling him. See how he responds to that. Here's one more for you, Mike, since you enjoyed that first one so much.
Yeah, please.
My wife kept going on about what we should use the empty drawer for. Eventually, I just told her to put a sock in it.
All right, Mike's back.
I'll tell you,
Mike's back in.
If he was like a 75-year-old guy, I'd love him. I hate the person, but I kind of like the corny jokes he's telling a little bit.
Hellraiser 69 says finally something funny on WATS.
There we go. Yes,
now,
he's with me.
That's hilarious because this is the comment that got Howard Stern to respond. This is the same guy, Hellraiser 69.
Hell yeah, Hellraiser.
Finally something funny on the Howard Stern
Mothers
show.
in arms.
So I'm going to get very angry with Hellraiser now.
I couldn't believe that, by the way. I almost wanted to ask you for the clip, but I was like, Carl already talked about it. But I'm fascinated. That might be worse than the Pelican Brief. I
agree.
So bizarre.
He told his entire staff on the air to start deleting comments because Jimmy Kimmel said it was cool.
It's crazy. And it makes me, I was like, oh, does he really not know what people think of him?
If you don't know what we're talking about, the latest episode of the Who Are These Podcasts, it's up on our YouTube channel. It's up on wherever you listen to podcasts. We did a Howard Stern segment where Howard decided to go and read the comments on YouTube underneath Triumph the Insult Comic Dog and got immediately upset about the first thing he read and then ranted about it on his show for 12 minutes.
He must. I guess maybe he's at the point where he's capable of being out of touch enough. I do kind of believe he's not on Instagram all the time and that sort of shit. He seems very out of touch. But is it possible that he still thinks he's like the king of all media and everyone worships him the way they did in the 90s?
Okay, this is really funny. Like I said, I was talking to Adam Bush earlier today, and he said to me, he goes, it only occurred to me after the show. He goes, I realize Howard still thinks his show is funny.
Right.
That was a big takeaway for him. He's like, oh, Howard was offended. He doesn't realize he doesn't put on a funny show. And I said, Adam, he has a staff of 20 to 30 writers for a radio show. Of course he thinks he's making a funny show.
Yeah, that was my takeaway as I was like, oh shit. He hasn't realized for a decade.
You didn't know that, Howard?
Turned on him. It's wild.
Yeah. I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, of course Howard thinks he's putting on a good show. Otherwise, this would be a ridiculous thing that he's doing.
I am with Adam, though. I thought he was just kind of mailing it in. He knew what the thought of, but he liked being famous.
That's exactly what Adam said. He's like, I just thought they were going through the motions, just writing out the contract. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How out of touch Howard is. We've known how out of touch Howard's been for a while, but this was.
I was glad you found that because I think that might be the most interesting segment he's done in a decade because it's so telling.
I agree. All right. Speaking of interesting, John Cerasani, he needs to be a celebrity. He's already made his millions of dollars, and now all he wants is celebrity, and he does that by going on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his family here. We don't hear a ton about his family, but from time to time.
We have a little more lately, though. I think the last time we checked in on him, he was talking about his son. He's been talking a lot about his son recently for some reason.
Okay. Well, maybe because we're calling him out for being a lonely loser, which I think I have evidence that the dude is fucking lonely. But we'll start with this Instagram post about his son.
Yeah, this is smart.
Hey, man, I'm a single dad trying to raise my kid right, and he's leaving for college in about a year and a half. It's time we start visiting some universities, but how are we going to find the time? Where do we go? Well, I get a DM the other day from a kid from the Michigan State University football team, big offensive lineman. He says, hey, man, we all follow you on the squad here. We saw you took your kid to West Virginia University. How about you take Gen Pop Jake to visit Michigan State's campus? And I said, that sounds kind of good, but he's Gen Pop. Michigan State is not Gen Pop. Even though your record last year
does that mean?
would suggest you are.
Okay. I'm glad you asked that. Gen Pop is a normie. It's a loser. It's
general population, right?
Right. Gen Pop in prison. So he's talking about like, you need to rise above Gen Pop and be better than that. He just called his son Gen Pop.
That's why I thought maybe he got it backwards. Because
I know he literally what he just said was, now, first off, I didn't understand that offensive linemen are now in charge of recruiting. I always thought that was like the coach and the staff that did that.
But did he say he plays football or is this just a kid going to school?
I think his son plays football.
Okay. All right. Then that makes a little
God, I hope so, because I think what he's saying here, this is how I interpreted that, is that some offensive lineman who probably him and his teammates laugh at John Cerasani.
Yeah.
When, oh, look at John's son's going to go to college. We should tell him to come to Michigan State so we can clown this guy to his face.
Yeah, we can have him buy us drinks for a night.
Yeah, right, yeah. And so I'm sure that because he was a big stud football player, went to Notre Dame, as we know. I'm sure his son has followed in his footsteps. But for some reason, an offensive lineman reaches out and says, hey, check out our program. And John comes on his Instagram and goes, there's no way my son's good enough to play for the 5-6 Michigan State.
He calls the kid not Gen Pop Jake.
Right.
Which made me think he just got it backwards because Michigan's, it's literally a state school. So it doesn't make any sense that it wouldn't be. The football thing does make more sense if he's going there to play football. But otherwise, I was like, is he just raffling off his kid? Does the kid have any say in this?
No, I assume this is a D1 school with a decent football program, and John's saying my kid's not ready for that.
Gotcha.
That's how I interpreted this, which is weird.
That sounds kind of good, but he's Gen Pop. Michigan State is not Gen Pop. Even though your record last year might suggest you are, Michigan State is definitely not Gen Pop. They said we will teach Jake not to be Gen Pop Jake anymore. He will be a PhD, a doctorate in East
so he is
Lansing,
Gen
and we will
Pop.
show him this.
Yeah, he's calling his son a loser.
This kid goes to public school like a bitch. Who
Right.
put him there, you asshole?
It's really weird to me, these parents who talk about their kids on social media as if this shit doesn't stick around, especially a guy like John Cerasani.
But what I still ask, what is Gen Pop in the sense that like he goes to Bears games and he's at casino, like he's in the public. What is he? Is he saying he gets the best? He's in a luxury box when he's at the Bears games or something?
He's not Gen Pop, Mike. What part is you not understanding? He gave himself a
He's a
2,000%
person.
raise. He gave himself a 2,000% raise. That's not like a Gen Pop thing to do.
He's not in the Illuminati. He's not like. I
We don't know
what
that.
separates him.
We don't know that. Is Bert Kreischer in the Illuminati? Probably.
Well, yes.
Does he know Bert Kreischer? Yes. Are they
Boy,
buds?
does
Yes.
he? Yeah.
All right, that's a little tease of what's coming up. Let's finish this video.
In East Lansing, and we will show him this prowess academic institution. I said this weekend. They said it's on. I said it's on. We're coming to East Lansing. Let's go.
So because this offensive lineman watches John's stuff and reached out to him, now his son has to go look at Michigan State.
Right. The kid has no say in that. No, I'm going to look awesome in front of these fucking 20-year-olds for a day. And it's like, oh, cool. Thanks, Dad. And then at that school, Jake will always be this guy's son.
John
not
Pop
his own
Jake.
identity.
Right, yeah. Not a good start to life on campus.
No, I don't know why you would have any of it. The way he's talked about his kid the last few weeks, like, we shouldn't be involved in him picking a school at all.
Not with his persona. If he was just like, if his thing was, hey, I go on Instagram talking about my family and my kids or talking about being a dad or something, that'd be one thing. But no, you talk about gambling and all these pussies who can't make as much money as you did.
And like, he's there to be laughed at. And again, like, I'm sure if I sat down with John Cerasani and had a serious talk with him, he could tell me things about business or investing or whatever that I didn't know. I'm sure he's much more well-versed in that than me. But the way he presents himself, he's a joke. Like, I think purposely so, no?
This is back to the Howard Stern conversation we were just having. John doesn't see himself as a joke.
He thinks he's a serious guy.
He thinks he's crushing it on social media. Have you seen the waterfall? You haven't, but everyone else has seen the waterfall.
Yeah.
No, he Mike, do you really think that he thinks he's a joke?
I think there has to be some element of him that
No.
knows-
Dude, why do you think we still love this guy? He's so delusional. He's out of touch with reality. It's great.
I suppose that's true. And then I think our next clip probably really shows.
Yeah, the next clip after that too. But don't forget, this guy started a reality show where he was going to help grow small businesses.
Right.
He's taking himself very seriously.
Yeah, I guess I keep thinking of you said Alex Stein said, like, oh, if you met the guy,
right?
I'm like, maybe he's more in on it than we realize. But no, you're making some good points.
I always think back to that too. Alex reached out to me unprovoked to be like, hey, you'd like John, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, but Alex says that about everyone apparently. He said that about like 3 more people we cover. So
he just said the other day he likes Kevin Brennan. Everyone was playing the clip of it. He's like, the devil versus mean.
Then, I'll erase that.
Right, yeah. Alex Stein carries no weight for character at all. All right, this is you called this an odd love letter to Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, so to completely fly in the face of what I was just saying, I forgot about this. Like, Bert Kreischer pointed out who John Cerasani was to laugh at him. He's telling...
Yeah, you got to watch this guy. Who was he on the
Jimmy
podcast
Kimmel,
with?
right?
Right, Jimmy Kimmel was like, oh, you got to follow this guy. And he's
a joke. He was basically saying he's a joke.
Yes. But
and Bert's
John,
like, thank you so much.
But John met Bert Kreischer and Tom and Joe because he invested in their vodka company. Mm-hmm. And we saw the video of him rubbing elbows with those guys.
Yep.
And so he thinks they're friends. John thinks he's friends with Bert Kreischer. And Bert was just on the Today Show or Good Morning America, whatever, doesn't matter. One of those morning shows. And so John sees that he's on TV and he's like, oh, I got an Instagram about this.
Right? Because he's a granddad. You think, gangster rapper and movie and this and that. He's a dad first. He's Snoop, but he's a dad. He broke me off. He goes, no, man, she's going to resent you.
I just want to interject because it's frustrating. I know we're here to make fun of John Cerasani. It's frustrating to me that Bert is talking about Snoop like he's known him for 45 years.
Dude,
he's a father.
It's so fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you guys, holiday together? What are you talking about?
I don't get why celebrities do this thing where like their only friends becomes like I just referenced this recently too, but I've heard Big J talk about Kevin Hart. Like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and Kevin Hart was like, "Those are my brothers up there," and Big J was like, "The fuck are you talking about, man? Like you barely know them."
Correct, but this is Bert talking about Snoop and John Cerasani talking about Bert. So this is how far we're removed here.
It's all very exhausting.
Snoop Dogg, one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, overexposed in my opinion. It's too much Snoop Dogg.
But he's been around for 40 years, 30 years, whatever.
Yes, right. He was actually very cool in the 90s. And then trickling down all the way to John Cerasani somehow in this video.
She's going to resent you. You smoke weed? I was like, yeah. He's like, it was your weed. She stole it from you. I was like, she's a thief too? Like, hey, man.
Bert Kreischer, keep going, brother. Killing it.
So he plays this little clip from him on, just this nonsense story on the Today Show or whatever.
Just him watching TV, yeah.
And then he pulls up a framed photo of him with Bert and hey, Bert, you're killing it. And he tagged Bert in this clip too, so that Bert would see it on Instagram and be like, oh, my buddy John Cerasani's giving me a nice shout out.
My brother, my best friend.
Let me read you what he wrote next to this post.
Okay.
This dude is blowing up and all over the place.
It's true.
Well, hold on a second. He had his movie 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, he's been blown up, yes.
He blew up a while ago.
The
Joe Rogan Experience is where we might want to go back to it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he tags him, at Bert Kreischer, gave me a huge opportunity in the past with absolutely nothing for him to gain on his end. I am so happy to see him on top yet again. Keep going. Nothing to gain. Well, I don't know what the opportunity he's referring to is. I do know that John invested in his vodka brand and gave him a bunch of money. So let's say that something happened before that and Bert was nice to multimillionaire John Cerasani. Nothing to gain?
Right. He's got an investor in his company.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think Bert's the smartest guy in the world, but he might have known that he might have something to gain eventually.
We were just talking about cringy things that you'd want deleted off the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm certain I've done, like the first time someone I admire like retweeted me or whatever, I'm sure I had a douchey response where I'm like, oh my God, so like some comedian or some fucking Boston journalist or whatever retweeted me.
That's so embarrassing too. We're still laughing at you.
I know, but I have the excuse I can at least rationalize my brain is I was a man in my 20s, early 20s. John Cerasani's fucking 50. And he's like, oh my God, guys, look, Bert Kreischer knows who I am. Isn't that awesome?
And he's on television right now on a show no one's watching. Yeah, he's on
kids
top.
In college, John. Why are you acting like this?
But this is why he's a lonely man. The fact that he sees who he considers a friend on TV, and he's like, oh, let me pause my DVR, rewind that, get my phone out, record myself watching him on TV, give him a shout out. That's a lonely guy thing to do.
Well, if you knew him, you could text him and say, hey, saw you on Good Morning America.
Good job. Could you imagine? Chrissy Mayer was just on Adam Carolla. Could you imagine? It would never even occur to me in my life. I watched
all
her appearance.
We'd be playing today if you made a video.
I watched her appearance. I thought she was great. People seem to like her on the show. Could you imagine? I was just like, my old friend Chrissy Mayer on Adam Carolla. Can you believe it, guys? Good for you, Chrissy, on top of the world.
I want that video of you watching TV with a tear coming down your cheek. There she is. She did it.
She made it. She did it.
There she is.
Fucking ridiculous. All right. This is what we've all been waiting for. John's always giving us opportunities, us Gen Pop rejects, opportunities. And it's not up to him whether we take advantage or not. He's just putting it out there for us.
We're going to get on the ground floor or something here. Focus.
So when common folks are in the presence of greatness, it's often that they don't understand it. It's years later, months later, maybe decades later that they say, wow, I was a part of something really, really cool. Well, listen, everybody, you're in the presence of greatness right now. I'm not saying this to be cocky, but if you pay attention to what's happening over the next 30 days, it is undeniably going to rub off on you. It's going to be like a scorpion that goes in your ear, or like an ear bug, earworm, or whatever it's called, and starts eating different parts of your brain and spreads out throughout your body, but in a positive way.
Okay. That was the worst analogy you could possibly think of.
Why?
That'd be like saying, you know what, guys, it's going to be like going to hell and suffering for eternity, but the opposite of what that
But
would
in
be.
a positive way. Yeah.
But the opposite of that. It'd be like cancer going to every organ in your body, but like if cancer was like really cool and great.
You're rotting from the inside. Like,
what the fuck?
But good.
What's wrong with you, idiot?
Not a negative way. I have 27 videos I'm posting on my YouTube channel over the next 30 days.
That won't
It
be
is going to be the
exhausting.
greatest
Yeah, I know.
blackjack clinic of all time. I don't do it as a tutorial. It's me playing, but I help you out looking at the camera. And yeah, we have some fun. There's some fun people and there's some pretty women.
Nice.
He's putting out 27 videos in 30 days of him playing blackjack.
I got news for you, Carl. I don't know how often you scroll through his actual Instagram. He does that already. I don't know why this was news. Like, I'm going to be in the casino. I'm going to be playing blackjack. I'm going to be bragging about my winnings. He's done that already.
Yeah, we get it.
Some guys going nuts.
You know what's great about this video? I'm glad you picked this one. It's a little long, but I'm glad you picked this. The way he sets it up, you would think he was going to give us the secret to life. Or I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching this show. Here's the one trick that's going to get you over the top, and your business is going to succeed or something. Like the way he sets it up is like, guys, there's a lot of idiots out there aren't paying attention. In the next 30 days, if you pay attention to me, I'm telling you, streets paved with gold in your future. Yeah. And he goes, I'm going to play blackjack on YouTube.
I've got 2 words for you guys. Mega Millions.
I know.
It's only $1 a day. You play. that number sometimes gets up into the billions. You understand?
And all he has to do is have one guy who said, I bought a ticket because you said I should, and I won. He'd be like, I've made hundreds of millions of dollars for people.
Yeah.
Just listen to me. I've got the right advice.
Pay attention, guys. You're going to learn a lot about how to play and win in blackjack. Now, speaking of winning, I just got back from Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut, and I made it to the final table of the blackjack tournament. It was a $300,000 tournament. Boom. What else is new? There was big-time people in there. Ken Shamrock from the UFC was in it. Mr. Handpay.
Whoa. That was almost Stuttering John-esque, where now he's got his catchphrase.
Hey, pipe down. I want to hear this guy who rubbed elbows with Ken Shamrock.
I play blackjack. I'm a fan of the game. A blackjack tournament, it doesn't interest me in any way. A blackjack's not a tournament game.
No,
you just play against the dealer. It's you versus the house.
They're not big celebrities, the guys that win those.
What's he talking about? Yeah, have you ever seen blackjack on ESPN? I've seen poker. I've watched a lot of poker on TV. I've never seen blackjack on TV. I could be wrong.
You guys might think I'm bullshitting you, but Ken Shamrock was there. So impressed
The
yet?
slot influencer was in it. Last year we had Big Papi in it. Well, I made it to that final table, guys.
I was excited. I was so glad he said that name.
Big Papi?
Probably five-ish years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I went to record something for the Kirk Minahan show. Me and Justin Trudell went to David Ortiz's home, Big Papi.
Okay.
Because he was having a what are they called? Those auction for an estate sale.
Okay, yeah.
He was auctioning off all of his belongings, all the way down to Wally the Green Monster water bottles.
Oh, no.
And the belief is that he has a terrible gambling problem.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's not a good sign of a guy who made, $250 million over his career, probably, just in salary alone, not even endorsements?
Yeah. So, I don't know dick about Ken Shamrock, but I happen to know David Ortiz could not be the poster boy for living your life via gambling.
Decision to make. Hey, do we chop the 7 of us, or do we play this out? Now, a lot of you guys in the comments were being only PUSSYs, Chop, dude. Go, go, go. Well, you guys are forgetting one thing. This ain't a poker tournament, guys. It's a blackjack tournament. When you play in a blackjack tournament, you're against the dealer, and whoever has the most money at the end after 15 hands is the winner.
That's stupid.
Is that right?
That's really. I've never heard of that. I don't know anything about blackjack tournaments.
You're a PUSSY.
Well, right. That's really dumb.
All of us knew that anything could happen. Anything could happen. You could go on a bad run right there, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's not like poker. All right? So we chopped, and I was very happy with it. Another reason I chopped was I looked at the other people. If I didn't chop and I went and beat them, I actually would have felt bad for a couple of the people. There's a couple people that came from the bottom ranks all the way up.
Is that Big Papi is talking about right there, maybe?
Are more than ecstatic to be there, and they never won 40 grand plus in their life. So that's another thing too, by the way. A little compassionate. So I'm very happy. I got 2 more blackjack tournaments coming up in the very near future. I got one at Baja Mar. That's a big time one. Only 30 people are in it. And then I also have one at the Win, a celebrity blackjack tournament at the end of April. Guys, we got big things on the horizon, dude. Big, big things. I'm up well into the 6 figures, even with my big loss a couple weeks ago, year to date. Last couple years of it, I've been up into the 7 figures. All right? John.
Okay, I want to talk about this.
What?
He's up well into the 7 figures. Now, what's the bare minimum 7 figures you could win playing blackjack?
9 million. Oh, bare minimum, $1 million.
Bare minimum, $1 million. Right. So if you're up right. So you were already thinking that way. Into the 7 figures would be $9 million. Yeah. $8.5 million. Is he pretending he's won that much money in blackjack? Because
pretending.
Oh, all right. I'm going to play you the video that he's promoting.
You don't understand. No. You don't get it. There are a lot of videos where because you're probably thinking he loses money. That's the tone I'm picking up from you.
Well, I also don't think if he is winning money, he's winning millions of dollars.
I see a lot of videos where he's down like $150,000, and then this son of a bitch, he turns it around.
He crawls back and
he
breaks
ends up
even.
winning $300,000.
Yeah, right.
On Cerasani TV on YouTube is where you want to be, starting at 6 p.m. Central tonight for part 1, 9 p.m. Central for part 2. Let's go. I'll be in the live chat.
2 a night, and he's in the live chat. That's amazing. So the first comment under this Instagram video is, what happened to the 2,000% raise message, John? This page used to be about a guy who bet on himself, killed it in business, and was motivating others to do the same. Now it just seems to be an ego-driven guy with a gambling addiction. Blackjack literally cannot even be beat in the long run without counting cards. I don't mean any disrespect, just honestly sad to see, because this page used to be a great follow for young entrepreneurs.
I like that there are John Cerasani purists out there.
Yeah.
Like, I like his old stuff.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. So John responds to this, of course, as he's ought to do. And he says, the gambling stuff is part of the lifestyle I built for myself doing the aforementioned. I still talk about entrepreneurship stuff at least a couple times a week. Tomorrow, I have some financial literacy stuff coming out too. Appreciate the feedback though. However, I do disagree with you on your counting cards comment. You need to start paying attention to what I'm saying in my gambling videos and not just dismiss them on the surface. Now, unless you're GG33, you can't predict the future of numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and just say whatever system he thinks he has, he's wrong. The way that blackjack works, if you're not counting cards, the house will eventually win. It's flipping a coin that the heads is weighted. It's going to show up 52% of the time.
I think this is a foolproof market-based system he's got here. I think it's very smart. He's literally promoting, he's shilling the thing that guys in John Cerasani's position, because he's trying to tell you how to be an entrepreneur and everything. From Warren Buffett on down. I was going to say all these guys, the first thing they would say is not to gamble with your money, but they wouldn't even say that because it's so obvious they wouldn't have to.
Right.
Like if you were talking to Warren Buffett, he wouldn't be like, well, obviously you can't gamble all your money on blackjack, because he would think it would be so glaringly obvious that you don't need to start with that lesson.
But John's got a different vision for us.
Yeah.
And so here's a clip from this video, the first video he just promoted right there.
Yeah.
I just want to show you what we're talking about. This is going to change your life over the next 30 days.
Oh, good.
Unless you're an idiot and don't watch this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm staying at 3. F what you heard. Come on.
Okay. He's got $3,000 down on this bet. He just pulled an 8-2, which is a 10. Decent starting position. The dealer is going to flip, and the dealer flips a 10.
Oh, every time, dude.
And then checks, and it is a blackjack. Dealer takes it.
Mercy, Joe. Mercy. Lamborghini, mercy. Oh, boy. All right, guys. I say we stay with the course. I'm not going to 2 hands just because of that. We're going to go down to $1,000, though. Come on.
So he loses the hand, and he changes his bet from 3,000 to 1,000. This is a man who's up high seven figures.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, wait, you're winning $10 million?
He must be there some arduous hours.
Yeah, I mean, people do play for a long time, but. All right, now he's got a king 3 against a 5. The 5 is another 5, 15, 9. He wins.
I'll take it, sir.
And now the camera switches to him. And this is the most enraging part of this video.
Okay.
Because there's people around watching him play. Because, of course, there's 2 cameras set up and he's in the high roller room.
Sure.
Playing blackjack. And he has this interaction with this guy next to him who I can tell he hates. I can tell he hates this guy.
That's a big sound effect guy. You should have been here when he first started. Hey, so this guy, when I like him, we're friends now, but he won a contest. He won a contest where the first 8 hands, he's making sound effects. Like, come on, oh, as we're losing. I go, dude, you stand 9 feet that way. I didn't say it though, and the cards turned, buddy. You know why? Because you got a good spirit about you, Hunter.
Awkward handshake. No, but dude, no, you're cool now, man. Just please stop fucking.
Does he mean one of his contests? Like this guy won a contest to be with John Cerasani?
Oh, maybe, yeah, because he's sitting right next to him. That would make sense.
Then what? If that's true, then what a cunt to talk about him like that.
Yes, I mean either way, but yes,
yeah.
So that's it, guys. You watch John get a 10, and he loses to a blackjack, and then the next hand. He stays on a 13 and the dealer busts. Like, wow, I'm winning a lot.
1,000 down, 9,998,000 to go.
It's fucking ridiculous. I love John Cerasani. Thank you for introducing me to him.
Yay, super chats.
My girl KJ, who's up in your area, your neck of the woods, is supporting the show to a level that I can't thank her enough. $100 coming in.
Oh, thank you, KJ.
Thank you, KJ. That's through supertip.gg/WATP, where we get to keep most of that. It's a much better system for us, so thank you. KJ with $100 says, obviously that guy got his hands on a Joke Master Jr. Yes.
Oh, the running away guy?
the Instagram guy, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
That's like your joke of the day.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Thing that's going on there. He's
or like a little
running.
kid toy that you press it and it says something.
I'm still mad at you for liking the auctioneer joke.
It got me more than I expected. Now, it got me because it was corny, to be fair.
Understood.
It was better than the others, I think.
Understood. Thank you, KJ. You're the best. Appreciate you.
He's better than Joe Gatto.
We're still looking at a Boston live show. I don't have that confirmed yet, but it could happen in June.
Not on my watch.
Well, it might. It
Talk
might.
to the mayor.
Whether you like it or not. Oh, yeah.
I used to be the Prime Minister of Canada. I've fallen on hard times and work a Mexican coffee stall in upstate New York.
The juice is loose. See you at Hackamania, fags.
Is that true? Is OJ officially coming to Hackamania?
I really enjoyed Adam Bush's impression of
Oh, that was hilarious.
Not for the voice necessarily, but for the, the content.
It was so funny. Like he has this real hard stance about something, and someone goes, "You sure about that?"
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. That was very, very funny. But also, I like that Woke Dad was talking about how he's Justin Trudeau in that super tip. Thank you very much. Oh, here comes John Cerasani.
It's like my girls at TLC would say, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you are used to. Fucking Gen Pop W2s.
Gen Pop W2s. That's another good way to put it. These losers. Or just Gen Pop.
Yeah. I wonder who's buying those t-shirts. Probably billionaires, right?
Oh, of course, to make fun of all the
not Gen Pop.
All the losers, yeah.
Carl, baby. Hurry down and banter with me. Seriously, drop that blind asshole and join my trans kid train in my art studio. Toot, toot, Carl.
Sounds tempting.
Don't worry, Mike. I'm sticking with you, buddy.
Well, thank you.
Don't you worry.
I haven't heard Cerasani talk about timepieces yet, and I still hate him more.
Thank you, OJ.
That is true.
A Tom Segura reference right there.
Yeah, that is true. I haven't seen John wax poetic about his favorite watches.
Mm-hmm. Thank God for that. We're also getting people supporting us on the super chat, like Apeshit Media with €2 says, you should call the super tip link QR these socials.
That's fun. I like
very
that.
Good. It's very good. Apeshit Media. Well done. Arkenstoff's theorem says, greetings. Do you agree that M theory unifies S theories and resolves inconsistencies, or do extra dimensions and dualities add more complications?
The first
Mike?
one.
the former, not the latter.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if that's what this is, but Patrick Melton has a thing with his viewers where they go on Chad's show and super chat him words he can't pronounce. So Chad Zumach just looks a fool.
That's fun.
That's fun too. Laziest Man on Mars, $5 says, Mike, what is your impression of trees? I'm an arborist, and I don't know how the blind could understand the gravitas and majesty of a huge, beautiful tree.
I can't answer that. I can see a little bit and could see better as a boy. So I'm not the one to ask that. But that would go for any. Why would that be specific to trees? If I was totally blind, I wouldn't
he's an
know
arborist.
What anything looked like. But that's very selfish. It would, and nothing I could picture. You see,
you know, Mike, as an architect, do you even like buildings? Do you even care about the buildings that I create? I design.
It's fair, I guess.
Ladies Man on Mars again says, I hope John C's son pulls a reverse Chris Benoit. Whoa. We're not.
Jesus Christ.
We're not wishing that on anyone. Got real.
Good Lord.
Raper Butt $5 says, like John, I too often ask my friends to sign photos of us, which I then frame.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah, when you showed the photo of him with Bert.
Yeah.
That's not your buddy.
An autographed picture.
Laziest Man on Mars says, Scorpions eating brains is John's backstory. Very possible.
Maybe.
Rocco Orb, my man. Rocco Orb, $5 says, Cerasani is going to end up like that one gambling addict that Tukey and Cardiff occasionally cover. Oh, Boss Man Jack.
Oh, yes.
That would be amazing. Well, Boss Man Jack's also like a meth head. He's got a few more dimensions to him than John Cerasani.
I am curious how long this lasts, though, because I don't know. John Cerasani does not seem like a guy who's being smart with his money, as you've pointed out before.
He's going to lose it all now that he's like gambling for a living. It's not a good sign.
And even these companies that he invests in, like, I don't know, would Mark Cuban say like fucking Bert and Tom's vodka is the smartest you know what I mean? Like, the companies he's investing in don't seem like they're going to set him up for life either.
Because he's not investing in them from a investment standpoint. He wants celebrity and fame. And I've been saying this for a while.
Cool.
Yes, everything that he's doing is to be cool and famous, which is a great way to lose your money very quickly.
Yeah.
People will take advantage of you. And I just had an epiphany. I absolutely have to order his Blackjack pamphlet because
they're probably out of stock.
They might be. I don't even need it personalized to me. I just want to read the content because honestly, I'm acting like I know everything there is to know about Blackjack, and I did spend a number of years studying Blackjack, unfortunately, so I feel like I do. But I could be completely wrong about this. Maybe John has a system that actually works I've never heard of that's going to be the answer. And maybe what I need to do is order his pamphlet.
Yes.
And go to the casino with, I don't know, my life savings.
Like, all right, I'm in. I'm watching.
Yeah, like maybe I'll put a second mortgage out of my house, reverse mortgage out, whatever I can do. Yeah,
you captivated me. I'm watching.
Yeah. I'm going to liquidate everything I own. Perfect. And then go play Blackjack. And John better be right about this.
And the pamphlet's just like, if you hit 18, stay. So, this guy's innovative.
Don't split tens. It's tempting. Keep your 20. It's a good hand. Thank you, John Cerasani. Kelly Riddle, $5 says, play my jingle, you espresso martini. Hi, Blind Mike. Tukey World Order. Patrick Melton is a fat neckbeard. Well, Kelly, you requested it. And so therefore you get it. We used to do a personalized jingle thing on here, and Kelly is an OG.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks so much for the super chat, Kelly Riddle. You might also agree that trying to explain the Dabbleverse to your spouse makes you want to find a short rope and a tall tree.
Fair.
I forgot how dark some of those were.
Yeah, not inaccurate, though.
Associate producer Ralph coming in says, Mike didn't thank Cardiff for his great appearance.
You know what's
This is a new feud now that's starting up.
So Cardiff leaves the show on Sunday.
Yeah.
And DJ Electra reads a super chat that says, she goes, associate producer Ralph says the numbers are dropping after Cardiff left. And I go, well, that's to be expected. People love Cardiff. I said something very nice. And then she said the name again, and I was like, oh, Ralph.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
That would be Cardiff. That is.
He is right, though, and shame on me. I should have messaged him after the show because he had a terrific appearance on Sunday.
He was great on the show. I loved when he just disappeared for a while and the show got good.
I disagree. I like him talking about Steel Toe because I know he doesn't love it, but it's interesting to hear his perspective on Aaron because he doesn't talk about it that much.
Yeah, he will not come around as much as Tukey and Melton and I all explain why Steel Toe is someone to be studied.
He was enjoying it. He just wants to be a hipster. He was enjoying it.
Oh, speaking of which, I have a little teaser for you for WATP this Saturday. Vinny Paulino's coming on. Ooh. We found the true crime version of Aaron Imholt.
Really?
Yes.
Now that's interesting. Say what you want about Aaron.
Yeah.
At least his show has a format. To do that, if you're seriously covering a murder case, is wild.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, good. I'm excited.
Someone actually, I shouldn't say we discovered. Someone sent it in to me. Sure. But this guy is not only, I only watched a little bit of it so far, so I'm excited to get more into it. But the guy starts off his video. It's a 3-hour-long live stream where he's begging for super chats every 10 minutes. He starts out by going, guys, I put up that video and spent like 10 hours editing it. Not getting a lot of views. Is no one sharing my video? You guys aren't sharing. I mean, I see you liked it. Thanks. But could you share it and get it out there, please?
What I'm hoping and imagining will happen that you'll be able to find. Like I love Aaron's segues. Like we'll play a long rant about how he hates begging for this. And then he's like, he'll be like, all right, so there's a mom on TikTok.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just
some ridiculous
transition.
I can't wait to get to what you were just describing. And then, so anyways, the girl was murdered in cold blood. And you have to go back to being serious.
Yeah, I think he's talking about Brian Kohlberger or something.
Okay.
So, so it's going to be like, and the knife that he used was found in the car. Anyway, guys, you're not giving me enough fucking money.
Oh, that's
the
very
support
exciting.
has been ridiculous today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Nice. D. Vogel with $10 says, never forget, Carl. John Cerasani made it out of the mean streets of Schaumburg, Illinois. Every day for the rest of his life is just gravy since he made it out of that hellhole. I forget.
I don't know enough about Schaumburg to know if that's sarcastic. Is that a suburb?
It's so sarcastic. It's just a suburb.
All right.
Did you see the video of him talking to a mentally handicapped girl in Schaumburg?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's a recent video, like 2 days
top
ago.
of his.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
When you sent me over the John stuff, I just saw a link. I'm like, oh, let me check this out.
I almost said that to you, but I didn't know the context. I don't
know the context either, but he's definitely taking advantage of a mentally handicapped girl to show what a great guy he is.
Oh, for sure. That context I was aware of. Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah, okay.
It's so funny. Yeah, as if anyone knows what Schaumburg is. Trent Pivo with a super sticker. Thank you very much. And the laziest man on Mars is back again. I just imagine John C's son hates him. I would imagine that too. No one wants the dad to think he's a celebrity unless you're Big Justice.
You
But
don't think
someday
the
he'll
guy,
come around.
You don't think the guy with the cool dad is always like,
Ugh.
oh yeah, my dad's awesome.
Ugh, it's the worst. All right.
There's always one person that hates the cool dad. You know.
Let's head over to YouTube for a quick spell. I have something for us.
I'll stop the show and watch YouTube.
So I mentioned it earlier. Blind Mike and I just did a bonus show. You can get it on patreon.com/Blind Mike.
Yes, that's true.
Or patreon.com/Who Are These Podcasts. It's a crossover show that we did. And we're breaking down Julia Fox's book. That's still a blast. We have to do it more often. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But then I also watched this video that's like a Dar Man style video, but it's from this other guy, Samir.
Sure.
And so Pop Sculpture reached out to me and says, oh, you guys don't know that 3 years ago, because these types of videos were becoming so popular, Trisha Paytas started her own series of them.
No.
Oh, good. You didn't know this either.
No.
And what's great about it is that she's not being tongue in cheek, like mocking it. She's like, oh, these are doing really well. I'll do my own version of it.
Boy, am I excited.
Okay, good.
I was not expecting this.
I'm so glad to hear that because I was just like, am I an idiot? I didn't know about this. And this is
No, I had no idea.
Okay. This is part of her Trish Talks series. And this is only like 5 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I've watched it already, so I'll scrub through a little bit. But it's called Woman Gets Fat Shamed at the Gym, and You Won't Believe What Happens Next.
Oh, no.
And it's her and her husband. Her and Moses, I think is his name.
That husband has to be the biggest cuck in the world.
Well,
I only know from
Alec Baldwin. Aside from Alec Baldwin.
Yes, fair.
He's in the top 3. Let's put it that way. You got Aaron Imholt, Alec Baldwin, and Moses, whatever his name is. So, yeah, this is how this video starts. Now, let me set the scene for you. They're supposed to be in a gym, and this guy is like bringing Trisha Paytas. So it's just the two of them. It's her husband and her, but they're not playing themselves. Right. And so he's bringing Trish into the gym to get her to work out, to not be such a fat, disgusting pig. But the gym is obviously in their house. It's in their garage. There's a garage door that you can see visibly. There's a flat screen TV on the wall. Underneath the flat screen are giant letters that spell out Trisha. This is their house. And they're pretending they're just at a gym. Okay?
All right.
So we're off to
an acronym for something.
We're off to a good start, but this is very similar to what we were watching with the Dar Man ripoff on our bonus show. So it does kind of make sense.
I don't even know what to do in this gym.
Come on, baby. You have to work out.
Don't you love me as I am?
I do love you, but if you just don't be so lazy.
I want to point out the visual thing here is amazing. Trisha Paytas couldn't have more makeup on her face.
Nice.
She's supposedly going to the gym, and
Looking hot,
she's made herself look as passable as possible.
I gotta say, my first takeaway: the husband, perfect casting for one of these videos.
Yes.
He's a guy who would be in one of these horror. He's a shitty actor.
Can't
He can
speak
barely-
English.
His mic is for some reason worse than Trish's.
I just want to give myself credit because I just came up with that. I know that Trisha's doing her tour right now, like her Eras tour, as passable as possible. That's like that's up there with like a Brian Regan-esque tour title.
That is good branding. Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
that.
As passable as possible. It's like the epitome of hyperbole. You know, it's up there. It's something like that.
It's not bad.
Okay, well, I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah, but you gotta put in the work.
I don't even know where to start.
You see that treadmill? You go there, push the green button, you start. Hey, not here.
She tries to kiss him and he says, nope, not in the gym.
Okay.
Not in front of all these people.
And then there's no one there. And then he hands her 2 2-pound weights that she immediately just puts down. Okay, so now she's on the treadmill.
Oh my god, you're going so slow.
What are you doing? I can't go that fast.
You need this. I'm pushing you.
No, babe, really, I can't go that fast.
So She pretended she fell off the treadmill, but the treadmill was not actually going. So she like slid down slowly and awkwardly.
So Trisha saw that these videos were popular and was like, all right, it also has to be just as bad as all the other videos. Like that's impressive.
Or this is the best she could do. I don't know. I
That's
don't know the
interesting.
answer.
Either way, it's interesting.
It's great.
Ow, my arm. It really hurts.
Come on.
Ow, what the heck? I think it's broken.
Come on, you gotta get up.
I really can't move.
Please cover your butt. This thing is so huge, they can see it all the way from the banana bar.
No, something is serious.
Now, the funny part about this visually is that he's pretending that they're at a gym and that lots of people are watching. And the camera angle now shows that the other garage door is open and you can see the car in the driveway.
No.
I swear to God, like all you had to do was close the garage if you wanted to keep up this masquerade, but they couldn't go that far with it.
It's wrong. Hey, what are you doing?
People are taking pictures and laughing.
Can
I'm just
you-
trying to protect you.
Can you at least call an ambulance?
Something suddenly came up at work. You call.
Right now?
Yeah. Again, just like the Darman stuff, it's just one-dimensional characters who are either all good or all bad. So they got that part down.
It's impressive, even down to the music.
Yep.
It is impressive how much it's like. If I was scrolling through Darman's YouTube channel and just saw this video, I would not bat an eye. I'd be like, "Oh, this is another one of their videos."
Oh, Trisha Paytas did one of these. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And squat.
So now fast forward, although they don't say that it's a different time or anything like that. But now she's standing in her amazing backyard with an outdoor kitchen and everything else. And she's got some band thing around her knees. She's still fat as fuck. I mean, we're talking about Trisha Paytas here.
Sure.
But she's wearing a very skimpy outfit. She's got this band thing around her knees. And she's like hosting an aerobics class, it looks like.
Squat and squat and squat. To the right, to the right, to the left, to the left. Good job. That's right. These big booty bands will get you your big booty in no time. But remember,
Why not
my
retake
bands
where she
are only
left
half the
right
battle.
I know, it's so bad. They did not do any second takes on any of this. So her big booty bands.
Nice.
You need to have good nutrition, good sleep, and a milkshake once in a while. Booties come in all shapes and sizes, and they're all beautiful. Love yourself before you can love anyone else. See you guys next class.
All right, so she just finished her class or whatever it is, video. Now her ex-boyfriend
Fatty
walks
Wilson?
up. Fatty Wilson.
Oh, sorry. Sally Wilson?
Hey, Greg.
Sorry about that. Just slipped out.
It's okay. It's kind of my thing now.
You're the inventor of Fatty Batty Fitness? Wow.
So she's holding up the stupid band that she put between her knees. And he's like, whoa, you're the inventor of that?
That's you, the craze that's sweeping the nation?
So, of course, he wants her back. I'm just scrub through. He wants her back now that she's like famous and she has a nice car and everything else. And she's not having it. And then we have the lesson at the end of this.
Fatty, booty, batty class thing.
You know, I have a better idea, Greg. You do it. Something suddenly came up in work, and I have to go.
Whoa.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another Trish Talks. I encourage you to share this video and send it to help educate your fellow person, because only we as a humanity can grow if we educate each other. Ignorance is bliss, but ignorance is also taught. Let's teach it to be the opposite of ignorance.
Fuck?
Ignorance is bliss, but ignorance is also taught. In this classroom, we teach ignorance. I won't have any education.
Guy writing it in chalk on the board. I-G.
Shove a crayon up your nose. Let's get started here today, people. This is the worst part because Trisha can't do anything that is actually mocking the source material.
No, this tells you it's real. This
Yeah,
tells
she doesn't
you
have a
she was
grasp.
trying-
She doesn't have a grasp on that the parody aspect of it. So she's like literally trying to recreate this.
But so my question, because you said like this got so big a few years ago, unless I'm missing something, it was big with like ROTC did a lot of these. You know what I mean? Like people on the internet made fun of these, but it wasn't like who in Trisha's audience understood?
She's expanding it. She's expanding the audience, Mike.
So she wanted like Legion of Skanks fans.
No. You and I discussed this. I discussed this on the bonus show.
Yeah.
Where we both think these videos get millions of views.
Oh, that's her thought. Interesting.
These videos get millions. Yes, right. These videos get millions of views. All of the comments are positive underneath them. So you go, okay, these aren't just people like us clowning them. But Mike realized, like, oh, this is like what people think is American culture.
Right.
So there's a bunch of people from India and who knows where watching these videos and going, oh, this is what Americans are up to. Okay.
But it's fascinating to have someone who was born and raised here do that.
Yep.
Let's teach it to be forever wonderful. Fat shaming is not cool. It's 2021, and you can't tell how healthy a person is just by looking at them. If you're dating someone that you don't find their body attractive, don't tell them, don't shame them. Fat shaming does not work. Yes, it can embarrass somebody, but ultimately they're not going to be healthy just because you're telling them to. All bodies are beautiful. Your body is beautiful. The most beautiful thing is being healthy. And if you're with a guy, a girl, or a non-binary that tells you anything other, you leave them before they can leave you.
Well said.
It's very of the time.
well said. There's another video. I think I should say it for next week. We have so much to get to today.
Yeah.
There's another video that reverses this where Trish is the asshole to her husband.
Oh, no.
Because he's an immigrant and she's trying to get popcorn at the movie theater and the guy doesn't understand English very well.
God, people got so bored during the pandemic.
I know. There was
you said 2021. I was like, wow. The ripple effect that those lockdowns had.
I still am mad at Cuomo over these Trisha Paytas videos.
Yeah.
But that's just my state.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to listen to some music. We always enjoy some music on this specific program.
Who are these music? Who are these music?
And we're going to start with a classic here. This one came in from Paul E. Ogre. Sends us some good suggestions. And this is a funny song. I remember this from back in the day. You know who John LaJoie is, right?
It doesn't ring a bell.
So John LaJoie was on The League with Paul Scheer.
Yes.
Those
Taco.
guys.
Yeah.
Taco, yes.
Yeah.
Before that, he was just one of the first guys uploading videos to the internet and going viral. We worked with him at E-Bombs World. When I was at E-Bombs World, we got a lot of his exclusive content, and he used to sing songs and rap songs, and this is an example of that.
Hiding in jail, getting Drake smell. Vanilla baby, no shit with the skin rough as hell. Please hit the drop the soap.
That's definitely not the video I was looking for. Son of a bitch. I had such a good intro to that.
Oh, no.
Just to have the exact wrong video show up.
Damn it.
That I pulled. All right, well, fuck that. Who cares about John LaJoie? Let's talk about...
It's very talented.
We'll play it next week. So I pointed out that I really enjoy when gangster rap gets gay.
Sure.
And from TDC Podcast, they sent in this suggestion for us.
Legs on my shoulders like a parrot, he repeat that. Make him grin and bear it while I give him this meat rap. I like it loud, baby, give me that feedback. I want that calm, daddy, take a seat and lean back. Stop when I think he'll give me his calm, licking it up with my tongue. I give him good brain till he going dumb, gag on it if he is hung. Give me that calm, give me that calm, I want his calm, all of his calm. Give me that calm, I want that calm, swallowing all of his calm.
I'd rock out to that in the car.
It is fun. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I enjoy that too. Plus the looks that you would get from people when you're stopped at a red light.
It's a good enough beat though that you kind of forget what you're saying. You're just like, give me his calm. Give me his calm.
Yeah, right. It's like it's pretty hard. I'm digging it. All right, let's head over to what I like to call Twitter.
Look at this tweet now.
Trucker Andy sent this over to me. Ooh. This might even be local. Speaking of which, if you're local, if you live in the Rochester, New York area, my band Buzzmeyers with Trucker Andy is playing this Saturday night at Spirit Room.
Nice.
Come down to Spirit Room this Saturday night. See me and Trucker Andy in our band Buzzmeyers. Anyway, this is what he sent in to me.
This having a dookie on.
All right. There's a woman walking down the street. It's a winter day. She's putting her hand back under her pants, back between her butt cheeks. And she's pulling out shit.
I suspected based on what the gentleman was saying. Yes.
Crazy as hell. She rubbing dookie on every car. Yo, this bitch crazy.
She's in the middle of the street. Cars are stopping because she's standing in their way, and then she's just wiping shit on their windshield.
Now, who provoked her is my question.
Well,
what did they do to this woman?
Good question.
Oh, they did.
Someone called her Bernstein, and you're like, you don't know me well enough.
Beat the bitch, they hit her with a pole. She rubbing dookie on every car. Yo, this bitch crazy as fuck. Oh, she rubbing. Yo, this bitch crazy as fuck, sir. Not the Tesla, bitch.
Oh.
This bitch got me, man.
Oh, no. So then the guy who's having all this fun with it walks over to his car, and it's all over the side mirror, but even worse, it's on the handle.
He's like, hey, now it's not so funny.
Yeah, it's on the door handle. He's like, Dookie, this is great. He's like, whoa. It's not, this is my car. It's a white car, by the way.
She dookie me, man.
Oh, it's all over the back window.
He's a somber Dookie guy now.
Dookie was all fun and games a second ago. He goes, I'm a victim. So that's fun. Thanks, Trucker Andy, for sending it to Dookie
Now,
lady.
Did I hear someone say Tesla in there at some point?
Yeah. You can't touch the Tesla.
So is it because... Oh, okay. I thought she was doing it because it was a Tesla or something.
No, there just happened to be a Tesla driving in the street where she was
okay.
wiping on all the cars.
Okay.
That's
That was
a bold
political
move.
statement.
That's a bold move, though. Like, knowing you're going to be able to shit on the fly like that. Like, I would shit and then, like, have it in a bucket or something.
Right.
Like a trick-or-treat bag or something like that. Like one of those pumpkins that you walk around with to put candy in.
You're not as confident in your dookies as this woman.
Correct. I feel like if I'm walking, I'm probably not going to be shitting.
Sure.
But she's just like, no, I can do both.
It's quite a skill, and she put it to use. Most people say she wouldn't put it to use.
It's like that old saying, you can't walk and shit your pants at the same time. She's like, oh, yeah? I'll rub my head, too. Let's talk about the Baldwins.
Oh, good.
Alec can't stop getting cucked. It's just nonstop.
I know. But this one's his fault. He brought this one up.
He loves it. That's what cucks do love, being cucked.
Yeah, right. It gives you a different perspective on that whole, like, maybe after that red carpet fiasco, they just had the wildest sex ever because that's what gets him off.
Maybe he likes being humiliated.
Yeah, publicly.
Well, here's an example.
Seen one of the loves of her life naked.
Not the love of my life.
He was one of the loves of her life. He was a very important boyfriend of hers. And we went to go see him on Broadway, and he was naked. In his whole, as our British friends, he had his bits out. We went to go see Take Me Out, the musical that our dear friend Scott Ellis directed, and all these baseball players were in the locker room, and they were all turned around naked with their dongs hanging out. And he's there, her boyfriend, and I recognize him. I met him before. And when he turns around with his personality hanging out, I'm like, oh.
Personality.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He had like a clarinet hanging from his pants. The guy literally turns around and we were all like, ah! Whoa.
I think you remember this more than I do.
And when you meet him backstage, we go out into the lobby, we meet them all. And her boyfriend comes and I'm like, hey, how you doing?
And I was like, I'm going to stay over here.
And you can't pay attention to a word he's saying.
She's doing a Spanish
He's standing right here
impression
talking
or
to me. I'm sitting looking at him going,
Yeah, that's a good question. She was doing like the robot arms. I'm going to
make tacos over here.
Burrito flavored kisses.
Here.
And you can't pay attention to a word he's saying. He's standing right here talking to me. I'm sitting looking at him going, and he's looking at me going, yeah, you know, the show and this and that and this. And I'm like, you have like a baseball bat that you stuff into your pants every day. How does that work for you? Well, let's move on from that subject. I felt it had to be told. It had to be told.
And Hilaria could really swallow that thing whole.
That's where she got the practice that really won me over with her.
Now, as a fan of the Baldwins, I watch it every week on Patreon.
Yes.
I don't like when these clips go viral because everyone was talking about this, and I said, "You fools, I'm sure there's context to it." And then we watched it yesterday, and the context was even worse. It was
no.
Hilaria made me meet all of her old boyfriends. She keeps in touch with them. I had to go to his plays. So, like, it's actually, the context is no better.
It's way worse, actually.
Yeah.
There's going to be, wait till the next story where it's just like, yes, and then Hilaria introduced me to a bull she used to date, and I sat in the cuck chair, and I was forced to eat the cream pie afterwards.
They go on their little trips together. I'm not sure what it is they do, but I'm not allowed to attend.
It just gets worse and worse every time. Well, I hope the money's worth it. I hope the $300,000 an episode is worth it for him to humiliate himself.
Yeah.
Like he's doing.
Wait, he is. I got to say, though, to defend my guy, Alec, he's definitely the protagonist. Like, he's at least in this latest episode, he's hanging out with Caroline Ray, the actress, comedian, whatever. His oldest daughter, the one he called a rotten little pig, Ireland, comes to visit, and Ireland has to hang out with Hilaria while Alec is out drinking wine with Caroline Ray, talking about threesomes. So he gets back in his own way.
Good. All right, he's finally learning how to do a reality show.
Yeah, and then he calls them, and he's like, "Sorry, I couldn't be there." And Hilaria's like, "You made your choice." So
awesome. I can't wait to watch the Baldwins. It's
the only way to watch it.
It is the only way to watch it for sure.
Yay, super chat.
Oh, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So we did our bonus show on Tuesday, and it's a crossover show. So if you're subscribed to either mine or Mike's Patreon or mine or Mike's YouTube, you get the link to the show to watch it. So we're doing it live, and my wife's upstairs making dinner, and I go upstairs afterwards, and she goes, "Oh, I was able to watch the show," and she was talking to me about the things that we talked about. She never watches bonus shows.
Okay.
The way she was able to watch
that's
this
a
one,
rule she has.
No.
Oh, okay.
The way she was able to watch this one is because she's on the Blind Mike Patreon. Oh, she never gets the links to my videos. But now that she's on your Patreon, she's like, "Oh yeah, I got the link. I watched it."
Thank you, Jen.
Jesus Christ!
You should do this guy's show more often. He's good.
God, speaking of getting cucked.
That pleases me.
Supertip.gg/WATP. Anonymous with $5 says, "I just imagined Trisha going, 'Oh baby, I can't go that fast,' and Adam 22. That made me throw up a little."
Oh,
I'm still blown away by the fact that Adam 22 slept with Trisha Paytas.
Well, she does well for herself in that world, I guess. So
there's a saying I learned about when I was in high school. I don't know if you learned about this in your generation. The saying is, "Pussy's pussy." No, I don't agree with that sentiment, but
a hole is a hole, we would say.
Yeah, guys like Adam 22 live by it. So
sure, yeah.
There you go. Laziest man on Mars says, "Am I supposed to laugh at this? J.O. forsake humanity?"
I don't know
if that's a reference to. He said, you could park an Eldorado on her gross camel toe." Yeah, I didn't mention how revealing that outfit was when she was.
I want the full picture. Give it to me straight. Don't soft serve me.
God, we're trying to keep listeners and viewers here. I Come Bucket says wood. Oh no.
There you go, buddy.
Laziest man on Mars says fat shaming works when it makes me laugh. Correct. That's why we do it over here. My boy Miguel coming in with $5 says, "So in both scenarios, she was confident enough to wear a top that exposed her mammoth belly. What a non-transformation way to not get the trend." Like literally, they were shot in the same day. Like, "Oh, I'm leaving my boyfriend," and then a year later, she's still just as fat and ugly.
We didn't even acknowledge the invention was as lazy as the entire thing. Where it's like, I invented something where you can still be fat, but wear something on your legs.
It makes your butt big. It's like, no, you already had a giant ass. You didn't need contraption for that. The One Pun says, "John LaJoie, please use this song, is great." All right. Yeah, John LaJoie is fantastic. I was a huge fan of his even before the League, and then I thought he was fantastic on that.
Yeah, and in the League, like I remember watching the pilot of the League and being like, "Oh, this is a great show."
Yeah.
And they used one of his songs in that I didn't realize till years later was like one of his original songs.
Yes. Laziest Man on Mars again says at least his wife didn't murder an innocent person. That's true. I saw someone make a comment. It might have been on this Twitter thread. It was just like, of all the women he could have shot, didn't hit Hilaria for some reason.
And now he thinks that every day.
Sorry for all the chats. Ritalin is a hell of a drug. Ladies and man on Mars, we appreciate the chats.
It's very kind of you.
Thank you very much for the support of the show, for participating in the show. Vito's Gase's Cradle coming in with $7.03 on supertip.gg/WATP.
Hey Carl, Woke Dad here to help you pronounce Gaia. It's Gaia, like the mother spirit of the earth, like the power flowing through every strong, independent woman,
God
like
damn
the
it.
energy that manifests itself into a physical form to crawl into your bed at night and peg you while you pretend you're asleep. I'm 100% straight, by the way.
I even tried to pronounce it this time, and I got it wrong. I just got shamed immediately. Thank you, Vito's Gaia's Cradle. I did it. We'll clean it up in post. I'll swap in me saying it the second time and the first time. You won't even know. Clean all of that up. Let's head over to TikTok, see what's doing on TikTok.
TikTok's a psyop by the Chinese to fuck up the minds of our youth and some other people too. So let's talk quite a lot about these TikTokers we stalk and know. TikTok fucking blows.
Now, I'm worried that you're jingled out, so I'm not going to play the system jingle. But we are going to talk about solar.
It's quick. Don't
This is
worry.
a real quick one, guys. Don't leave us.
I just need an answer on something because
Yes.
I try to be woke. I'm a liberal puss, and I try to keep up with the kids.
Yes.
But this one threw me a little. I don't know. I'm confused by the language.
Guys, Mike Geary talks about this all the time. He's way younger than all of us, and he grew up with this shit, and he understands it better than we ever could.
Absolutely.
So he's probably going to have all the answers on this one.
Is it transphobic of me to call myself a lesbian when I'm dating a trans man?
No, I'm a lesbian too.
There you have it.
Transphobic of me. It is quite a riddle she presents.
Now, when I was Solar's age,
Yeah.
girls with daddy issues would become strippers, or they would date whichever minority displeased their dad the most.
Mhm.
The kids today have really upped their game.
Hey, those could all probably be in there somewhere. She may have one.
The
inside
kids
of her.
today have upped the game incredibly, where they're like, hey, guess what, Dad? I am a transphobe who's dating a trans man who's a lesbian, and I call myself a lesbian.
Well, so what she's doing there, it's very funny that people have like created these worlds for themselves. And this is how privileged we are as a country. When people
Okay.
talk about, this is how privileged everyone is, minorities and sexual orientations, whatever.
Yep.
We are privileged enough that this woman has created a world where it's controversial that she's dating two guys. One of them is trans. So that makes her, and people are calling her transphobic because she's actually a lesbian and this isn't a woman. Like, she's built controversy for herself based on the words she uses.
Right. Controversy or confusion, Mike? Because
Both.
I'm not sure
Both.
it's that controversial.
No, I think the people commenting are confused by what they're saying. They're like,
I'm
calling you
wildly
transphobic,
confused. I would love to see someone illustrate how this works or what's going on here, because I'm very confused by all of it. I don't want to actually see what's happening. I just want to know what the deal is. But the confusion they love. They love to confuse people. I think that's part of the problem here. They're like, you guys need to embrace us and what we do with our lifestyle. We're like, all right, cool. What is it you do? You wouldn't understand. I
You
don't.
get it. But
Yeah.
well, because if they just said what they are, it's just two ladies dating.
Right.
Instead, it's a lesbian who is in love with a trans man, which makes her interesting because that's not what you'd expect from a lesbian.
Well, you say it's two ladies dating, but one of them actually has facial hair. So it's like an Italian girl and a girl dating.
Sure, but she was born a woman.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's
Make
what
sure I have it.
that's what a
the right
trans man
direction.
is.
Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
And Mike, I'm not the authority on this, so if you're looking for answers, I'm not the guy.
I usually turn to you in these.
I know. I think I got this case cracked, but I could
All
be
right,
wrong.
good.
There was a woman last week. We've talked about her before. She's on TikTok. She's an animal psychic, and she tells you about things like when your dead animals visit you, how to know that they're there visiting and stuff. You have found an even bigger crackpot.
Yes, a greater bullshit artist.
Yes. This is a new animal psychic for us to enjoy.
This is the nice thing about TikTok, where like if you find an animal psychic and you're like, this is ridiculous, TikTok will go, you haven't found the most ridiculous, my friend.
The TikTok algorithm, I've said this before on the show, but I think this is very important because TikTok is eating Instagram's and even Google's lunch in a lot of ways because of YouTube and stuff. And Facebook and stuff. The reason why US companies don't understand the algorithm is that they want people to get upset when they're on social media because they go, that's more engagement. Someone puts up a political post and they go, yes, socialist scum. And then someone writes back to them, you're a racist bigot. Like Facebook would be like, this is great.
Yes.
This is the engagement we want. People are mad. They're firing off comments. TikTok said, hey, what if we just show people the stuff that they like that makes them happy?
Yeah.
Oh, they might stay on our app for 8 hours straight. Yup.
Well, I like, even if they're spying on us and I'm being used as some sort of Chinese tactic of war or something.
Sure. Yeah.
What I like about my TikTok algorithm, thanks to this show, you have no idea who I am. It's all Daniel Alexander, this lady. It's just nonsense.
I joke about it a lot, but a lot of people get busted for their Google search history.
Yeah.
Like a person will murder their husband and they'll Google something dumb like, how do I get away with murdering my husband? And they immediately go to Google and they go, well, she probably murdered her husband based on this search history. I happen to co-host a show called The Creep Off, which I could use in defense of anything I've ever Googled. Like the shit that I've Googled is outrageous. It's ridiculous. And no person in their right mind would be looking for these things. So I always say, if you're going to commit crimes, either host a true crime show so that you could use that as an alibi, or DuckDuckGo.
Both good solutions.
Google is the biggest tattletale in the history of the world.
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo. If you want to murder someone and get away with it, don't ask Google. I'm sorry, getting way off base. Let's get back to this animal psychic we're talking about.
I had a request from a dog to say this before, but he would like you to pretend that you're on a ship and tell him that you're going on the adventure because he would like to go along for the ride. He's also saying to me, I'm quirky. Do you understand that?
I want to point out this woman's talking over like a Zoom or something to a couple. And the dog is sitting in between the couple. It's a guy and a girl, which is going to be important. And so the dog is like sitting up, staring at his mom as this animal psychic explains what he's thinking.
He's saying to me, I'm quirky. Do you understand that reference? Why he would say he's quirky to you?
Think he's kind of like Ferdinand and likes to go outside and explore and
he's exactly like
buddy,
that.
That's such a nice thing for
Magellan.
you. King of the ship. He's saying I'm sitting exactly like I would at the front of the ship. That's what he just said. See, look.
Your dog thinks there's a king of a ship. Your dog's a fucking idiot. The dog just said I'm the king of the ship. Ships don't have kings. Countries do. Stupid fucking dog.
I'm the king of the world.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, what did this dog see Titanic and misunderstand it?
What I just heard was oh so happy. I'm just oh so happy. So he truly does know where he is supposed to be in your lives. I think you know your adventure, huh, buddy? I've never had a request.
Okay. Now, I understand why the woman is there with her dog listening to this nonsense and thinking that it's real. Why is the guy there?
You do.
Yeah, because women want to believe this kind of
Okay,
shit.
all right.
They look at crystals, they look at their horoscope. They're nuts. Half of our society has lost their mind. Why is the guy sitting there and entertaining
I have an answer
this?
for you.
Please.
Because he said 800 times, she can't talk to the dogs. You're not getting the dog back. And it's resulted in crying and yelling and all right, fine. We'll talk.
All right, let's talk to the dog
talk
lady.
To the crazy animal lady. And what makes this woman more interesting than our friend animal communicator Danielle is Danielle was a medium who would talk to dead animals.
Well, that's coming up, but go ahead.
This woman is both, where she's like,
Yes.
I talk to dead, but I'll talk to your alive animals. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'll lie about any animals.
I'll read their minds too. Just show me what they look like and I'll talk about it.
I have even less morals.
All right, not to ruin this for everyone.
Yeah.
But and everyone thinks that their pets have these complex thoughts and notions about how life works and all this stuff. And I get it. I've had pets too. But you have to understand that your pets don't have thoughts in their heads anything like humans. It would be torturous for them if they did. There was a movie that's called Johnny Got His Gun. It was featured in Metallica's one video. I'm dating myself. But Johnny Got His Gun was an anti-war movie from 1971, independent film, where they show this guy who was completely deformed and became basically a vegetable, and they kept him alive on life support, but he was tortured because he couldn't communicate. He couldn't explain that he's trapped in this cell that is his own consciousness without any ability to communicate or tell anyone. He tried to tap his head in SOS on the pillow to let people know he just wanted to be put down and killed. Imagine if your dog is having these complex thoughts about wanting to be the king of a ship and thinking all of these thoughts, and all they can do is go, bruh, and
I'll disprove your example with another example.
Please do.
Did you ever see the episode of Futurama where Fry's dog sits there and waits for him for 100 years?
Of course, yep.
Well, there you go. He was waiting for his buddy. That's an example of a dog that loves his owner.
I agree they love their owner. They're not thinking complex thoughts. Speaking of what you just said, that's based on this Richard Gere movie, which was a book before it was a movie. I understand. Mm-hmm. It's the funniest story. I'll never forget this. So I think it's based on a true story in Japan. There's a certain breed of dog, I'm not good with dog breeds, that is super loyal to their owner. And Richard Gere plays this guy who was a real guy who the dog would go meet him at this rendezvous spot every day. And the guy died. And this dog continued to do that for the next 15 years, waiting to meet up with his owner at this rendezvous spot. And this is a movie that Richard Gere made. And I'm on an airplane with my wife. And she might have been my girlfriend, probably my girlfriend at the time, a long time ago. And I'm sitting on the airplane and I'm listening to my podcast or doing whatever I'm doing. And eventually I just look over at her. She's sitting next to me. I wasn't really paying attention. She's bawling her eyes out.
Oh, no.
And I go, Jen, what's going on? Is everything okay? And she's watching this Richard Gere movie with this dog that's all sentimental and shit.
Yeah.
And she's like, this movie is just so sad. And I look around the airplane and every woman on this airplane is bawling their eyes out. This is before like you got to pick which movie you wanted to watch.
Movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, here's the in-flight entertainment. And they picked like, why would they pick this movie to show on an airplane full of people?
Well, the reason I used the Futurama episode as an example is because I had a buddy, like when we were in high school or college, who told me he cried at that episode. And I was always like, this is why I have no connection to this psychic woman.
Yeah.
My response was, they just drew the dog there, right? Like, it's not a...
It was written by writers in a writer's room.
Yeah, like I had no connection to that feeling, but there are people like that.
It's hilarious. All right. Enough about me. Let's get into... now we're getting into the psychic medium part of this.
Good.
We're talking to dead dogs.
Yeah.
And there's two women here that she's talking to who used to own a pair of dogs, that this psychic medium is now talking to these dead dogs and communicating to their past owners.
Betsy was like, I want to talk first. And then Maisie's like, I want to talk first. And then they kept going round and round and round in a circle. And then I was like, well, somebody has to talk first. And
so
then they
Maisie.
were like,
Yep.
okay, we want to do
That's
this
Maisie.
together. And I was like, okay, but can you separate yourself so I know who's talking? And they're like, no. Sound about right to you? For those of them? In life and in death. And this is important. Tell them we're together.
Does that sound right to you? These dogs, they're playful, right? They were playful when they were alive?
That sound like if I personified your animals, is that what they would sound like?
Yep, you got it. You figured out Macy and what's his nuts for sure.
That's important to tell both of you that they are together. We are running around, sprinting, chasing tails, making figure eights, doing all those things that we did in life. We're doing that together in heaven, and no bumps and bruises. Feels like there was a lot of pain towards the end, and they're not telling me who. Slow down. It feels like I'm getting...
All right, I just want to point out, pets are great things. They're not for everyone. Some people get way too attached. This woman is bawling her eyes out.
There's another video. Just what the video I didn't think was as good, but there's another video where she really like this psychic says something and she goes, "Oh."
It's so sad. It's just taking advantage of these people who just missed their dog.
Yeah, completely.
Oh God, this is so. If I ever saw a credit card statement for my wife and something like this was on it, grounds for divorce.
Oh
I wondered what Champ was up to. I wonder how his Wednesday was.
Jen, I'm going to send you to Champ, all right?
I don't know who's talking. I know you want to get all this out. I know. Betsy, sweet girl, can you... She's very fast. Do you understand that? Talking very fast, moving very fast.
Is this Betsy?
Talking very fast.
Unbelievable.
Are they overlapping again? That's fun.
I think so.
Lord. My goodness, normally it's not so hard to keep them apart, but it's almost like they're like jumping over each other. You understand that?
Oh,
like they
man,
just
these
want
are
to go in
unique
front of
dogs.
each other, and so that is making
These are fucking adult women. Now, the premise of this to start with is doggy heaven is real. And they're like, yep. Then what? All right, so now what they're doing is they're having so much fun on their play date. You realize that dogs don't go to heaven. This is like the title of a children's movie.
Well, what I like about that is that she goes, one dog's talking really fast. Does that sound right to you? And the woman goes, is that Betsy? As if to say,
that's the one who talks fast.
Were it Maisie, then I would start to, I'd raise an eyebrow to this whole process. Maisie is certainly not, but the fact that you said it was Betsy, that makes me believe in this thing.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That story checks out.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. So embarrassing. We have Woke Dad coming up in just a second, but first...
Yay, super chats.
I want to thank you people for supporting the show. Very generous audience tonight, as Aaron Imholt would say.
Oh, yes.
Supertip.gg/WATP, like Seamus McAnus coming in.
Feminine lesbians dating fat, ugly, and hairy lesbians isn't new. The language has just been changed from butch to transformer of the male persuasion. Noon knows how that still makes you a lesbian.
It's kind of what we were getting at.
Thank you, Dr. Steve. I appreciate the explanation.
Graceful way. That's what we were saying.
I do appreciate that. James R. says, SJ is the go-to for info about trans people. That is true. Considering John, the most caring liberal father to ever exist.
Get him on the horn.
He never talks about it, but when his daughter came to him and said, Dad, I'm a trans man, John went, I still love you, no matter what you are.
Wow.
And his
now
daughter, now son went, and his daughter, now son went, as liberal as you are, Dad, I can't imagine this conversation going better than it did.
Wow.
And he still tears up when he talks about it.
That's pretty brave of him.
Laziest man on Mars, $5 says, woke lefts don't move the goalpost so much as to put it on a pickup truck and drive around like Christian Slater at the end to pump up the volume. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack right there, that comment. Again, Laziest man on Mars says, read Johnny Got the Gun, the Dalton Trumbo book.
Oh, I've seen the Trumbo about his life, or a book that like a fictional book that he wrote. Because I've seen the movie about Trumbo.
Okay.
Starring Bryan Cranston.
Oh. I've heard of him. Rick from New York says, OJ hasn't walked right in almost 3 weeks. Nicely done, Mike. Hashtag Imus for life.
What did I do?
You fucked OJ good, man.
I don't think so.
You fucked him up.
I'm
Fucked him
sure
right
he's
up the
fine.
butt.
I'm sure he's fine. I like that OJ. I was watching Tukey and Cardiff, and
Yeah.
OJ was on.
Me too.
And there was some allusion to the fact that, like, off mic, OJ said, like, he doesn't like me. And it's like, ooh, that's brave of him. What a bad boy.
I sent him a text. Now, I didn't send it directly to OJ. I sent it to OJ, Cardiff, and Tukey. But I was watching that too. And I sent him a text afterwards. I said, great to see OJ back after his 3-month hiatus. Because part of the joke is like he was gone for a week.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, where the fuck is OJ? No response.
Oh, really?
No response at all from OJ.
It's nice that he's playful.
Yeah, I was just trying to have a little fun. I was like, hey, what's up, OJ? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just nothing.
Yeah, seems like a fun guy.
Laziest man on Mars, $2 says, Eric Nagel cried at Futurama Dog famously on O&A.
He did, yes.
Oh,
I remember.
I forgot that.
I saw that. I listened to that. I couldn't think of the words. I listened to that segment after and I was like, oh shit, maybe this is a normal thing because E-Rock got his balls busted too. But I was like, I know someone that did that also.
Oh boy, not a good thing. Anonymous $5 says Richard Gere has a knack for making girls cry with movies about dogs and hookers. That is true. She was bawling her eyes out. Mike, have you ever turned to your significant other and seen them openly weeping in public?
Just when they think of who they're with for me.
No, that's what I mean. I've never had that experience before. I was like, holy shit, what's going on? We're on an airplane right now and you're bawling your eyes out. I felt like something was seriously wrong. It's like, no, this dog is really sweet, looking for his owner instead. Okay.
You should have said, well, Jen, many more probably died while filming. So.
Oh, that is the way to get to women, though.
Yeah.
They can watch a war movie. They can watch Saving Private Ryan. Like, whatever. If one dog was looking for his dead owner over the course of a couple of years.
It's tough.
That is a tear jerker. All right, let's head over to Woke Den.
Sitting in my mobile coffee shop, making videos about my transvestite children for TikTok.
I have to say, Casey Day is helping us out right now, and he's putting together, he's clipping segments from this show, Who Are These Socials, and he's giving them to me and Mike to post on our channels and try to spread the word of Who Are These Socials, which we never talk about. Tell a friend.
Yes, please.
This is a great show. You can watch it. You can listen to it. It's up on YouTube. It's wherever you listen to podcasts, Who Are These Socials. And so he's doing that to help us promote the show and get it out there. And the first Woke Dad clip that he pulled together, and it has that stinger on it, I was like, this is quality. This is fun.
Now this is good stuff.
I felt a lot of pride. I had nothing to do with that stinger being created. Just a listener put that together. But I was like, yeah,
we really did it.
Yeah, this is some good stuff right here.
Yeah.
So this is coming in from Record Lover.
Okay.
Because we were speculating about Dan being bald, because he always wears that hat. And Record Lover found a video of Dan without a hat on from years ago.
Magnificent head of hair.
Here he is.
Why, hello, employees. Your friendly HR department has arranged an exciting new policy change to accommodate the current times. All employees are now required to smell like cheap tequila to enter every workplace. In understanding that this is in understanding that it's in woo.
Do you hear children laughing in the background?
Yeah.
He's doing this in front of his children. And in the text on the screen that woke.dad put up for us, who is also a Record Lover in our Discord, says, pre-trans Dan was just a struggling, thirsty, failed actor with a receding hairline and unfunny bits.
So this is very confusing because I saw a lot of videos, both recently and from a long time ago.
Yep.
Where he's like, listen, when I first started this channel, It was so that my kids, I could have some connection with my kids when
Correct.
they were with their mom. Not
We have
only they're in the room,
Yep.
but he's obviously posting
performing
them for
for
other
them.
people.
Yes, he's performing in front of them and then showing how cool he is because he's on TikTok, which is what the kids like.
Yeah, so
He's trying way too hard.
Yeah, I guess that's still for them. But I guess my point is by posting that on TikTok, it's no longer just for your kids. They saw it.
No shit. You could have just done this in the living room.
Yeah.
Let me just play the rest of this.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end, he sprays hand sanitizer down his throat.
What is the bit? I kind of got lost. He's an HR guy, but he's drunk. Is that it?
I guess the point is that his hairline is very Vincent Bessie-esque.
Nice.
You could tell it's getting away from him. He's not happy about what's happening on top of his head.
Well, that's too bad.
And listen to this. I learned about this in our Discord. Dan reported the woke.dad TikTok account.
Oh, no.
For a video because it was bullying him, calling him bald.
Wait, really?
Yes. So he actually had a video reported.
But of all the things, we bullied him plenty.
But apparently calling him bald is against TikTok's terms of service.
All right, you're not bald. Jesus.
It seemed like just an observation to me.
You've got
could be
lovely
wrong.
hair. I'm sorry.
So Record Lover was reporting on the fact that, and you might know this, that Dan was dark for like 4 or 5 days. There were no TikTok videos.
Yes, that's why I've been going back into the archives and sending a lot of old videos. He hasn't been posting much lately.
Well, this might be one of the reasons. This is a Facebook post from the Great Start Coffee Cart where he has a photo from outside of his coffee cart with all of his mugs and things that he builds in the ceramic studio.
Yeah.
And it says, I have plenty. I just zoomed in too much. I have plenty of handmade pottery items at the coffee shop and ready to find a new home.
Okay.
And what's hilarious about this is that there is a warning sign on the window of his mobile drive-through coffee shop that says, warning, this guy is super friendly and often has great ideas. Now let's think about this, Mike.
Ooh, let me brace myself.
This is a man who no longer speaks to his parents and other family members based on who they voted for.
It's a good point.
And he's like, I'm just a super friendly guy, just wants to talk to everyone. Do you let your kids see their grandparents? No, definitely not.
Even in jest, what an incredibly pompous thing to have hang behind you. Warning, I'm a great guy.
I would rather go to Starbucks and have them misspell my name on the cup and yell the wrong name, and I'm waiting longer than I'm supposed to. I don't want to get to know my barista. I'm good.
But even if you did that, wouldn't it be like, warning, I might talk your ear off or something?
I know.
Some sort of self-deprecation.
It's so annoying. So anyway, the reason why I bring this up, because he's showing off all of his mugs. He's got tons of mugs. He is now going to craft shows. He's been posting on his Facebook, catch me at this craft show. So he's selling these things actively.
Yeah,
he's buying. He's buying a booth. He's investing money into this now and getting the.
He's a mug maker. He's a mug maker.
He really is. That's his profession.
First and foremost, he is a mug maker that happens to sell coffee.
Yeah, that's what's happening with this guy, and we called him out. He doesn't like it.
No, he does not.
No, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But first, this is crazy.
I need you to stick around because this message is incredibly important. I need to get this out and I need people to hear it. In the beginning, when I first started here, I didn't start for other people to see it. I started so that my kids could see it because
we just saw that was a lie.
This is such a lie right here. When I started this, it wasn't for other people to see it, for my kids to see it. You can take videos of yourself and message them those videos. You can email it. You can text
even make
them.
it private. Why was it public?
Right.
You know,
TikTok. The reason why you go on social media is to be discovered by the masses.
Oh, jeez. All these people are following me now. Damn it.
That's a blatant lie.
Oh, why does
My
that's
kids
how?
could see it because they had joined this app, and when they're with their mom, when they're not with me as a divorced dad, I needed to find a way to connect with them and give them hope. And somewhere along the journey, one of my videos got out to someone else who needed hope, and they told me that I helped to save their life that day, and that forever changed my journey.
It so did. And I have to tell you, when I heard this, and I draw this parallel a lot, so let me apologize in advance.
Mhm.
But when you compliment a narcissist, it's a very dangerous thing that you do. I know Stuttering John better than I know anyone else in the world.
Sure, yeah. Sure, your wife loves to hear that.
She knows that.
Yeah.
Stuttering John is forever living off of compliments.
Mhm.
He repeats them all the time. I know all of them. When he was told that he was a headliner, he thinks he's a headliner because of that. When Howard Stern told him he's great on air, he thought he was great on air because of that. There's so many examples of this.
I bet you never heard what Mary Delabate said to him, though. That one's obscure.
Oh, please. So Dan gets a note from some jackoff that he doesn't know on TikTok and goes, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know that your TikTok's really inspired me and really helped me out." And Dan's been going around saying that he saves lives ever since then.
It's funny you said. Do you know what I'm about to say about the amount of times he's posted this? Even
no.
So it's funny you say that
Yeah.
without knowing that I happen to, because like I said, I've been going back to find older videos from before we found Daniel.
Okay.
And so I scroll way back. He's posted some version of this clip 15 times.
Wow.
Probably more. That's just that I've
And
found.
he references it a lot because I've heard him reference this many times. He saves lives.
He goes through the script. He's like, I started this just to connect with my children, and then it became much bigger when I realized I saved someone's life. It's the same spiel every time. He's made a bunch of videos that start like this.
This is the worst thing you can do to a narcissist is tell him that, hey, man, you're making a real difference.
Yeah, they're a savior.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
This is
what was
funny.
really crazy is this video is one of the few he posted this last week.
Uh-huh.
And then I just happened to find, like I said, 15 more of those over the years.
But this is his origin story. That's why he refers to himself as a superhero. He thinks that his TikTok is making a huge difference in people's
Saving
lives.
Yeah. And by the way, I think if you're a content creator in general, like people have sent shit like that to me where, hey man, I was going through a bad time. Your stuff really, and my mind goes right to like, you're crazy. If you think I'm like, I'm glad you got your mental health stuff in order. I didn't do anything. My mind doesn't go to, well, you're welcome.
Mike, I was thinking the exact same
saved
thing.
your life.
we have both gotten these notes, and a lot of people with popular shows get these notes where it's just like,
very
man,
nice thing to say, but
I was in the hospital, or my kid had this thing going on, and it was great that I could rely on you for some laughs or something like that. And I always appreciate those notes. It's amazing.
Sure, yeah.
But I've never once thought like, this is now my calling.
I actually did. I did save his life. You're welcome.
Well, thanks for telling me that. Now I have to do that for a million other people. We go save their lives.
Yeah.
What a fucking pompous douche this guy is for saying this. What an asshole. What a raging narcissist Daniel Alexander is.
Infinitely different at that point. I started making videos to connect with a lot of other people, not just my kids. And after I got 1,000 followers, I started a group called The Love Rally. And my content was all about uplifting others. I hadn't really interjected a lot of my values. I just wanted to make a positive space for a lot of people. And I met a lot of people in the Love Rally. Well, after that whole experiment, which was beautiful and amazing, and we helped so many people, I was nervous about keeping some of those people close to me because I knew that some of them didn't share the same values as me. And as I started to share and interject more of my values, I lost more of my friends.
Friends.
One person.
Friends. Yeah. This is another lonely guy. I'm telling you, all these social media assholes who go on social media and they're like, and he's going to say this in a second, but this other TikToker, he's like, oh, this is like one of my good friends.
Yes.
It's not. You don't grab coffee with them. You don't watch the ball game with them. It's not one of your friends.
Box eating dad is my best friend. So I challenge you to argue that.
That I believe. KJ, if you're still watching, we're besties. But everyone else, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
To this day, is still an amazing freaking human being. He isn't just there for kindness. We share the same values. He cares about uplifting people. He cares about taking care of others. And this video is about him. If you've never met Liquid Shano, I see his videos and I smile.
I can promise you, I've never met Liquid Shano.
we almost did this video a disservice because I watched it just straight through, and I was like, "Boy, what is this build? Someone must be going through something serious." And he's like, "It's just another life out there in peril." And if you've ever met Liquid Shano, just the reveal of the name,
right,
really got me.
At Liquid Shano, and I checked out his TikTok. He's got like the same number of followers as Dan, so it's just another TikToker, just another grifter. Of course, you're gonna say like, "Dude, you changed my life. It's so amazing." Like this is the grift. This is what you do.
Right.
Yeah, it's like TikTok is saving your life.
But it's also to put on this speech and like not know the guy's actual name. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
I don't know if you guys have met my friend Liquid Shano.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, you got to get to know him. It's a great.
King
guy.
Cobra JFS is really going through a tough time right now. And we need to uplift him.
All right. This next video, I actually sent this to my buddy Drew Lane, who's actually my real friend in real life. I don't just watch his videos and think we're friends. I sent this to Drew Lane because I was like, oh boy, this someone's on the defensive. It seems like.
you think this is about anyone?
Yep.
It seems like forever ago, but I guess it was just a few years ago that I started building this space, which is an art studio with an intent on supporting kids in vulnerable communities. Kids in a lot of ways like my kids that are part of the LGBTQI community, but there are...
Did you hear that? He started building this a few years ago?
I absolutely did. It stood out to me too.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, that's interesting. So maybe even before we learned who he was, he started this?
It's the slowest process ever. How long does it take to build this?
It's a room!
It's a room, and it's taking 3+ years to build
Homes are built in 6 months.
Right.
There are so many groups of kids out there right now who just really need safe spaces. I mean, the social and political environment in our world right now is pretty scary, and they need those places where they can just feel safe and create. And when I started this space, I knew it'd be a lot of work. This is a 200-year-old building. It needed a full renovation. It needed a roof. And I knew it would be a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of that work I'm doing myself, but I didn't care. I still don't care. I do all the work. I just keep going towards my goal. And I know one day when this is fully open, when I'm not just inviting in small groups of kids or just trying to work to make sure that the bills get paid and
2048.
Right, yes. The kids who will enjoy this space haven't been born yet, but they will enjoy this space.
These kids' grandkids will enjoy it one day.
Yes. Fucking asshole.
I know at some point this is going to be a staple to my community. And I have to say, no other space has been more controversial on the internet for me than this space, because some people don't believe in the work that I do. They don't believe me because they see me creating here. And
Whoa. What do you mean some people? You mean Carl and Mike is who you're talking about here. Come on.
I was just thinking about this when you sent this to Drew Lane. You
Yeah.
know how furious I'll be if one day he's confronted and he's like, "Oh no, I mean the Drew Lane show. What's who are these socials?"
Who are these socials? Never heard of it.
Damn it!
Drew Lane show.
they question whether or not this space was just for kids or if it was just for me.
Yep, that is exactly the question that we're asking. Wow, it's almost like he's watching our content and responding to it in real time.
And it's interesting that this is happening specifically. He's really started to do this a little more since you mentioned Casey is like cutting the segments out. Like, he seems like the type of guy. He's probably not sitting through the solar segment or
right.
Yeah, like Baldwin.
He's
stuff.
not scrubbing through. We usually do woke dead at the end. He's not scrubbing through an hour and a half.
Yeah. So the fact that like it's in solitary out there that he can find it's interesting that he's responding now.
I love that you wrote, when you sent me this link, you wrote, this feels targeted.
I can't tell. It's about someone. I can't.
I didn't know what to make of that when I read the description. I clicked the link. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what this is targeted at. This is a slap back to us right here.
Because some people don't believe in the work that I do. They don't believe me because they see me creating here, and they question whether or not this space was just for kids or if it was just for me. The reality is, I need to be able to make things to pay the bills. So.
Oh, okay. So thou doth protest too much, methinks.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it was part of the pitch when people were donating things.
No.
On Amazon. Like, hey, obviously I'm gonna have to make mugs. This is gonna mostly be a mug shop for the first few years.
He's so on the defensive here. He knows we're right. Like, you
wouldn't respond to it.
You wouldn't make this video unless you knew that we're right, that you raised over $10,000 for this studio, and now it's just turned into your new side hustle.
Let me try and prove your point. The Apple Corporation is a scam. Tim Cook is a thief. He's a grifter. We'll see if we get a response now. We're gonna have Tim Cook makes an Instagram.
I want to
video.
say the controversy is just on the internet. My local supporters, which I have way more local supporters than I do internet supporters for the space, they believe in me.
Oh, that's a fun thing too. It's just like, yeah. I date a girl. She goes to a different school. She's super hot though. He's doing the same thing. He's just like, by the way, if you guys even knew how much people love my art studio here in bumfuck New York, the internet doesn't get it, but everyone here in bumfuck loves it. It's amazing. Whole community.
In the work that I do. They keep supporting it. They see the work that I do. They see the efforts, and they see the benefit on the community. So if you don't believe in me, that's fine. You don't have to stay here for my journey. Just scroll on. This space is absolutely doing what it's intended to be doing.
Well,
and
that
it'll
I
be more
believe.
impactful the more renovations I get done. The more of the spaces I get finished, and the more kids I can let in through the doors. I still have to pay the bills. I still have to make some money by making things, creating art.
Whoa. Hold on a second. So he's completely changed the parameters of all of this. I was just going to be, give me money. I'll create this art studio for vulnerable children or whatever it was, safe space, all that kind of stuff. And he's just like, guys, you knew what this was. You gave me money. You gave me money so I could create a thing where I get to play in my fun art studio all day, and then I sell knickknacks at my coffee shop. And
you gave me seed money for my business.
Right, yeah, you're an investor.
Keep the doors open for. And I also like, he's like, and people have noticed, like, I've really helped the community. As if people are walking around like, boy, since this influx of mugs, things have really turned around. Everyone's got a mug in their hand in our community.
Well, Mike, if I could put on my woke dad pants and explain why that doesn't make sense. He has to counter Trump's presidency. Of course, it doesn't seem like things have gotten better. They've gotten way, way worse. But could you imagine where they would be if not for his ceramic studio?
That's a good point. If Elon put down his chainsaw and picked up a mug, things would be a lot better.
Yes, right.
Okay, good.
ICE would be running through central New York right now, grabbing nothing but Hispanic guys.
They just need a cup of Java.
To sell so that I can keep the lights on. But I'm still going to be helping kids. No amount of doubt is going to stop that. It seems like
All right, take that, Carl and Mike. He is helping children still.
How do charities do it? Like, how did charities run without, like, no kids, everyone out today, we're making mugs.
No, it's funny you say that when you were talking about Cook earlier, Tim Cook.
Yeah.
When they first started Apple, the idea was, guys, this is a charitable endeavor that we're doing. We're going to make personal computers and people are going to buy them. But this is really to raise money. And they went, well, what's the charity? Who are we raising money for? They're like, well, us.
Oh, interesting.
The co-founders of Apple. It's our charity for us. They went, well, I don't think that qualifies as a charity. And then they eventually had to become a corporation. But Dan hasn't gotten there yet. He doesn't realize you can't have a charity that just funds your lifestyle. That's not how charities, unless you're Black Lives Matter, then you can do that. But otherwise, you can't do that. That's not a charity.
See, I didn't even realize the peril when I said that. I just thought of the first sweatshop I could think of to compare this to.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect analogy for sure. All right, this next video is my favorite. Dan is a celebrity, as everyone here knows.
Oh, yes. This is one from the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes he gets recognized as a famous TikToker.
Sure does.
And I love this interaction. This is, no one makes up a story like Dan Alexander. This is so great.
So 4 times since I started on this app, I've been recognized out in the general public as being a TikTok creator. And one happened today. In fact, each was a little more outrageous than the last.
I'll just point out, this is from May of 2022.
Yes. So you're fairly new.
Well, no, but the reason why that's significant is remember May of 2022. Now we had March of 2020. That was when everyone's staying home. Are we wearing masks? Are we not wearing masks? 6 feet of distancing, like all these things.
Oh, right.
Came into play. And then Fauci came out and said, yeah, masks do work, even though he said 60 minutes, they don't. And then 6 feet distance. And in stores, you would stand in line to check out, and there were dots put down that showed you how far 6 feet was. So no one stood near each other.
It's weird that was all less than 5 years ago.
Oh, it's the craziest time we've ever lived through. We should talk about it way more. But
yeah,
this is over 2 years after that. This is end of May of 2022. Listen to this story.
And today, in fact, each was a little more outrageous than the last, and this one definitely takes the cake.
Oh, wow.
So I was in Target shopping for clothes for my kids, and this woman approached me and she said, "You're the shoe fits, aren't you?" And I said, yeah, I am. And she goes, "Well, I used to."
Oh, dude, first off, everything I was just setting up.
Is that?
You're the shoe fits. I recognize this asshole.
Yeah.
Kids, come over here. Get a picture with the shoe fits.
No, it's probably the shoe fits wouldn't shop at Target. It's probably just someone that looks like the shoe
With a
fits.
Target for his children's clothes. That sucks. Parents just don't understand.
To follow everything you did. I loved all of your content. And then you created this one video, and I immediately unfollowed you. No, here I am shocked, and I go, well.
Okay, so let's think about that for a second. Recognized in Target. Oh, I know you from TikTok, the shoe fits. Yeah, hey, nice to meet you. I loved you. You were my favorite. I liked I commented, I shared, but then you made a video I didn't like. And
You were my best friend.
Yep, and then I unfollowed you.
Yeah.
This is the story that he's telling about this interaction at Target with someone who knows who he is.
No, here I am shocked, and I go, well, I'm thankful that you were there for all of that journey, and I'm sorry that you didn't agree with something that I had to say. I hope you have a good day. And she goes, wait, you're not going to try and make it better? You're not going to try and make a video to apologize to me? And I said, well, my content's made for me. It's not made for everybody, and it very much represents my values. So I'm sorry you didn't agree, but there's nothing I can do. I can't make everybody happy.
Now, first off, he doesn't even understand what an interaction would be like if he was recognized.
You don't think the natural response would be, oh, interesting, what video?
This could never happen. No one would ever be like, hey, I know you. You're that guy I used to love, and then you made that one thing I didn't like, and so I don't follow you anymore.
Aren't you going to make this bet? I demand restitution.
And then, yes, and then can you make it right? Since I've now met you out at Target, it's now your turn to make it right for you. And I know you've been recognized. You've talked about it. I've been recognized and stuff. It wouldn't even come up. If somebody saw you and they didn't like you, they just don't talk to you.
Right.
I see people all the time that I recognize. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that person.
Or even they hide it. Like I've gotten hey, I said this on Twitter and I feel bad about it. And I'm like, well, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't even know. You know, like they're more apologetic more than like, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you something.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So he doesn't understand how people think. Like the way people think is foreign to Dan, which is why Dan is so crazy, which is why we love him so much. Because he thinks that you would walk up to a TikTok creator and say, you need to right the wrongs for what offended me.
Well, he's got a character. It's like going up to Larry David and trying to give him like an awkward handshake. And he'll be like, "This will be a story."
Right.
Like this, in his world, this person is trying to get into a Daniel Alexander video. Like, but aren't you going to make a video where you tell my story?
That could be true. Yes. So that's what he thinks. Now, my advice to Dan Alexander, who we keep calling a liar over and over again, and now he's making videos addressing that directly to us, so I know he's watching and paying attention.
Yeah.
My recommendation to you, Dan, is when someone recognizes you at Target and they go, "Hey, aren't you the shoe fits?" Pull out your phone and film the interaction. You love recording yourself talking to no one.
You love changing minds.
I want to see a recording of you talking to anyone, someone,
another person,
not your girlfriend talking about what her credentials are off camera. I don't care about that. When someone comes up to the window at the coffee shop and they go, Trump is my guy, and try to convince me he's not, and then you convince them over the next 2.5 minutes of dialogue.
Oh my God, I see so clearly.
Record that. God damn it, Dan. No one's buying it. This is why we don't buy it, because it's always like after the fact how much of a hero you were. And that interaction could not possibly happen on this earth, I'm telling you.
No.
There's no way.
Of course.
He's not even popular enough for that. It's not like Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas might get people come up to her and being like, "Oh,
Absolutely.
you lost me, Trisha."
Definitely, yeah.
You know, I could see that. That would make sense. This is the shoe fits.
And there's no take that Daniel has ever had that isn't absolutely what his followers want. Like there's no deviation where it's like this checks the box, this checks the box. And then one day he's like, I think Trump actually made a good point here. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing he says that isn't exactly what the people following him want.
Yeah, what would be so controversial?
Right.
Well, that's why watch all his videos and they'd be like, "But I don't like that one."
But that's why I pointed out that he didn't say like, "Oh, which video?" Because you would think like, Really? I'm surprised to hear that. What was it? And so it's, "Hey, you made a video I didn't like. It doesn't matter what one. Let's move on."
I would, if someone came to me, and I've gotten lots of notes from people who say like, "Oh, I didn't like this thing you did." I'm always curious, like, okay, what didn't you like about it? What can I do better? That's how you get better as a
I said when I talked about Bill Burr a couple weeks ago, literally someone commented like, "I'm gonna have to bail on this guy," and I'm interested in talking about that. Like I responded to some of those comments because I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
For Daniel to be like, "All right, see you later," it's actually the least open-minded.
That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, this next clip is the last one. This is what I was setting up a second ago, and I apologize. This is also from May of 2022, which is what threw me off. But this is what I was talking about with the mask wearing and everything else that we went through as a society.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Still trying to wrap my head around this one, but I just went to the gas station for lunch and, I'm wearing my mask.
Hold on. I didn't even pick up on that the first time I watched this. I just went to the gas station for lunch.
Yes, they have a nice spread.
Oh, no. Oh, God. So I'm microwaving my burrito, right? And this woman comes over to me. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And this black man walked in with his 3 kids, and they were cute as could be, one little girl and 2 little boys. And
I also want to point out, and this is, you don't have to elaborate on this, but this is May 21st, 2022. And Dan is just like, of course, I'm wearing my mask at the gas station. And he pulls up his cloth mask, which by May of 2022, I think even the CDC knew did absolutely nothing to stop the spread of COVID. Like this was horse shit all along. But he's still proud of himself.
He was doing God's work.
He's still proud of himself.
Yeah.
And all of the kids were wearing masks, but he wasn't. And there were 2
I got a
cash
question.
registers ringing up.
Yep.
Question. Kids were cute as can be. All wearing masks.
Good point.
How does that work?
Well, Mike, you have to understand that when you're as progressive as Dan, all black children are the cutest black children you've ever seen in your life.
More of the cutest kids.
That's hilarious. That's another great poll.
They're all wearing masks.
We should be. I got to pay more attention to these videos because I just laugh about them. I didn't realize.
Couldn't see any of their faces. Cutest kids.
A lot of tells going on here.
But he wasn't. And there were 2 cash registers ringing up. And he walked up behind me. And he said something. I had no idea what he said. So I turned around and just kind of gave him a friendly nod.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
I heard him say,
Black
"Thank
guy."
you." And he reached in his pocket and he put his mask on. And I said, "Thank you. Thank you for what?" And he said, I'm thankful for people like you who clearly care about other people.
It's getting choked up.
Could you imagine what it would be like for me to walk into a store or a place of business with a mask on? Can you imagine how hard that is? It's good to see people like you.
I just want to point out the way this video starts. Let me play it again.
Trying to wrap my head around this one, but
he's still trying to wrap his head around this one. Me too. Maybe come up with a story that makes a little bit of sense before you report it on your TikTok channel.
You remember though, and this is 2022, so Biden had already taken office, but it was still while Trump was president, and he's like, everyone wear a mask, not the blacks. But all the others have to wear masks.
Yeah. We don't trust those blacks with those masks on. We know what's going to happen.
It was policy Trump put in place that stuck well into 2022.
What a fucking asshole. A black guy comes in with his children. He can't wear a mask because obviously the police would immediately pepper spray him if he were.
Yeah. And I know it's pointed out all the time with this stuff, but like making this up is way more racist.
Yes.
Than any other possibility of this story.
Well, one of my favorite dance stories of all time was when he was hanging out with his black friend when they were kids.
Ah, yes.
And he dropped his Coke bottle and it smashed.
Yeah.
And the police came and they brought his black friend away in handcuffs for dropping a bottle of Coke.
You've broken.
This would have been in the 90s.
You're not allowed to drop soda. I don't care what you say about Rodney King. This is.
But what's great about that, though, Mike, to your point, is that he tells the story as if everyone watching just be like, "Yep, we know that's how the world works." Like that's what's so racist about these people. They literally think they're living in Jim Crow's South, and it's just no. There's just one drinking fountain. Well, there aren't any drinking fountains, but you get my point. No one's saying there's separate vending machines.
It's also often like gas station attendant. Like gas stations are often owned by diverse groups of people.
Right.
It's not like they would automatically be like, "Hey, black guy, mask off. All you whites, keep them on."
And mostly Indians who do hate black people, but I get your point.
Sure, yeah.
You're just like all brown people are the same. I'm like, well, we can have a discussion.
I'm like Daniel. I'm closed-minded that way.
Oh my God, we are going so long. Longest episode ever, but
oh God.
We appreciate the support from everyone.
Yay, super chats.
Oh, wow.
I know. Oh wow is right. We're gonna fly through these chats and people supporting the show. Got some voicemails. We'll get out of here. I think I'm missing a Sabres game right now. Nishi TTV $3 says Trisha P is having a show by me. Should I go? Trisha P is having a show.
Having a show by me. Should I go?
Oh yeah. Fuck
Why
yeah.
not?
Go for
What does
it.
she do,
I want to know what she does. I want to know what that's all about. So report back to us. Oh boy. Beggy Monster is here. Watch out.
Oh no.
Carl, you have to spend the day with one person. Who do you choose? Stuttering John, Woke Dad, or Frenchie Hannah?
Great question. Now, Stuttering John and Woke Dad will both be better for my livelihood.
Sure.
I'd have stories to tell. I'd probably span it over months. Like, I got other things, but I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But I think Frenchie Hannah would be the most fascinating person.
Oh, really? See, I don't know enough about her.
I don't know anything about her. That's why I want to know how this happened. I want to be like, Frenchie, give me the backstory.
Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, right. Like what you got an accent, right? Like who broke you? What's happening here? But great question. I like that.
Yeah.
Anonymous with $10.17 says, Ronick, that woke dad, claims to support marginalized communities. He could have given half dozen Mexicans hanging out at the Home Depot jobs, and they could have finished his renovations in a month.
Interesting.
That's true.
Or giving them mugs to drink their coffee out of.
I will say this. The only problem with that argument, but I'm sure there is a way he could have made that happen, and you're right about that, because he talks about day laborers in his neighborhood all the time, but they're usually farmhands. Where we live in New York, we don't have Mexicans hanging out outside of Home Depots.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know that's very normal. I've been to LA. I get it. I know that's a thing. Where I live in the Northeast, not a thing.
Right.
So I'll give him that.
You should go to LA.
He should go to LA.
Drive him back. Give him a nice flight.
He should go to LA and hang out with the homeless. He'd do a lot of good there. Vito's Gaia's Cradle. Did I get that right this time?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me tell you guys something. I'm super famous. I get recognized all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Out on the street, at the grocery store, behind the alley, in that one bathhouse with all the windows blacked out.
All right. Now that makes more sense. Now I'm starting to understand.
Is that the shoe fits?
That's the shoe fits. I can tell by the shape of his wiener. I can't see anything. All right. Vito's Gaia's Cradle is also over here on our super chat with $14.99 Australian. Supporting us every way he can. Thank you.
Too kind.
Women have the gall of being shocked about getting tricked into bed by guys when they literally believe in psychics for dogs. That is the best point I've ever heard.
Well, I suppose.
It's the best point I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to send this clip to Dick Masterson. I think we finally solved the riddle. Thank you. Fat Factor 2 pounds says, woke dad be like, there is a beloved cheddar kid.
Yeah. Woke dad's got an iPad. He could send someone to.
Rocco Orb 2002 says, buying kids clothes at Target. Okay, that checks out. I know. I was thinking this. I didn't want to say. I don't want to shame anyone. It's not great.
There were tough times. He was a minor celebrity back then.
Arctan 64, member for 8 months, says, if I ever buy a coffee from Dan, I'm going to tell him his mugs cured my racism and now I'm gay. Then just wait for the video on TikTok.
Now I'm gay.
That's a good strategy right there. I was racist, but now I'm gay. Thank you for your mugs.
I would love to see how he works that out in his mind.
All right, let's check out some voicemails, and then we'll get out of here, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on a long one. Won't happen again.
It flew by. I would have thought it was 8:15.
I know. It really did. We had a lot to get to today.
Hey, this one's for WATS. Specifically, it's for Mike.
Ooh.
One, you need a voicemail line for your show. I know you don't want to do that shit. You hate when people tell you how to do your show. Do your thing, brother. I don't give a shit. Power to you. But what's with all the fucking swooshes in your show? It's always like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. You know, it's a drinking game for the Blind Mike Project. Like, take a shot every time there's a swoosh. You'd be fucking dead by the end of it. Well, take care. Hey, Carl.
I have an answer for this.
I know the answer to it, too.
But if you don't know what he's talking about, between every clip, there's a little swoosh to differentiate them.
Yeah.
It's because Casey Day would put like a 3-minute music bed between them. And one day he just happened to do it this way. And so I said, I liked it. Let's keep doing it like that. So that's why. It was the only way I could get him to tighten up the in-between of the clips.
I'll go a step further on this.
Yeah.
Casey Day, I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
The first time Casey Day filled in for Mike on this program, WATS, he's familiar with the show. He's watched it many times. He knows what we're doing. I go, hey, you want to fill in for Mike? He's on vacation. He can't do it. Great. And Casey Day is a go-getter. And he goes, hey, I'll pull clips. I'll be ready to go. But great. Yeah, awesome. He knows I just go to a TikTok video and I hit play, or I go to a YouTube video and I hit play. Casey Day created these 8-minute long video vignettes with all these different videos within a video with these transitions and shit. And I went, this is not how we run this show.
And then he's like, I put so much work into it. And I'm like, you shouldn't have.
Yeah, don't do that. Just send me links.
Some time.
Like Mike just sent me like 7 links before the show. And I go, great. I'll grab this. I'll look at Discord. We'll be good to go.
Yeah.
And so Casey Day does so much production and so much prep. He's amazing at that. And so when you watch Blind Mike, rather than like WATP, where I go, here's a clip, we play it, then we react to it, then I go, here's another clip, and I load up another clip. He has 20 clips that are one video file.
Yeah, he gets very eager, which I have another story that I'll be telling to start my show on Sunday. So, so yes,
all right. Well,
he's very excitable, but he means well. And go to hackradthedemon.com. He does good work.
Correct. He's fantastic. Cardiff was on Blind Mike Project, as we talked about this past Sunday.
Hey, Carl. I'm just getting started listening to the new episode of WATP with Anthony Cumia and the other guy that's the one, Adam Bush. Yeah, I'm really excited to, oh wait, what's this? Oh no, Cardiff's on Blind Mike Project. All right, I gotta go. Bye.
You're stealing my audience away from me with these guests that you're having on the show. He's like, oh, Anthony Cumia and Anna, but oh wait, hold on a second, Cardiff's on? I'm out of
That's
here.
because you ruined your show with that Wednesday guy on. I think it confused a lot of people.
Yeah, it did. It did throw people off for sure.
Yeah.
Senor Carl, this is Hilaria Baldwin, and when my husband, I say, cierra la boca. That's shut your mouth. How you say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is my husband.
Well, thank you, Hillary, for calling into the show.
It's sweet of you. Good to hear from you.
Didn't know she was a fan, but that's great to hear.
What's up, guys? This is a message for WATS. I love all the Taco Bell talk. The girl sounded kind of sexy. But, Mike, if you like pineapple taste on your pizza, maybe like a hot honey, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice. But, yeah, the girl with the Taco Bell information, DM me. All right, bye.
Okay, we're not trying to hook people up on this show. But
No, I say DM him. He sounds like a good guy.
It actually has happened before where voicemailers then end up getting together and dating. It's happened on WATP.
That's an interesting tip, though. Hot honey. You guys are really expanding my world.
Well, because you said you like the sweet, but you don't like the texture.
Yeah.
You don't want big chunks of pineapple. Now, I will tell you, as a guy who likes pineapple on his pizza, hot honey can suck my dick.
Oh, no.
Hot honey blows on pizza. And it's becoming prevalent. It's everywhere I go. Everyone who thinks they're doing an artisan pizza is all putting hot honey on it. Go fuck yourselves with
Now
that
you sound like these pineapple detractors.
I do a little
You've
bit, you're
become
right.
what you hate.
Well, I know, but
it only took 2 weeks.
Mike, I hear what you're saying, but you have to understand that I'm right about this.
Well, I'll see.
That's
I'll
the
try this
difference.
hot honey.
Hebrew Hammer calling in about Woke Dad.
Hey, it's the Hebrew Hammer here, calling for WATS. This is regarding Daniel Alexander's story about the quote-unquote tattoos that he was drawing on these kids' arms.
Right.
Oh, right.
You guys keep calling them tattoos, but tattoos imply a permanent piece of art.
Yes.
Now, these kids are causing all this trouble with one another over a fucking drawing on each other, on their own skin.
Right.
That's going to be gone in a day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, you want to bully Daniel Alexander because he won't give you a tattoo or a drawing on your arm, but you wash it off and it's going to be gone tomorrow. What the fuck sense does any of this make?
Yeah, it was a lie. Thank you, Hebrew Hammer. That whole story was bullshit. And we called him on it.
It does. Now, when Hebrew Hammer puts it into that perspective, it seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's nonsensical in every way.
Yeah.
Hebrew Hammer, by the way, a big contributor in our Discord. We appreciate that. WhoAreThese.com. Link to the Discord is free to join. We have a channel in there for Who Are These Socials. Check it out. Wow, the Taco Bell talk's got a lot of people talking. We were checking out Bubba the Love Sponge in the drive-thru. Everyone's talking about it.
Hey, this is for WATS. With all the talk of Taco Bell and pineapple on pizza, perhaps we need a post-banter jingle or segment now. I'm not going to make it. I don't know how to. I'm too busy. I don't even have 45 seconds to leave a voicemail.
Interesting.
Post-banter.
I mean, we do banter.
We're talking
up
about
top.
innovating. Yeah.
We do banter up top, and people love it. They can't get enough of it.
But the banter does tend to persist.
Could you imagine if we had banter after the show is over?
Boy, that'd be something. The show might go past 9 o'clock if we were to do something like that.
Fuck, it is going to go past 9 o'clock. Injun Jen coming in with Beggy Monster.
Thanks for feeding Beggy Monster an OT.
Yes, we are definitely in overtime.
Oh, we're way into overtime.
We hit the goal, everyone.
Next Thursday's show is thanking you guys. They're loving it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was watching Aaron Imholt, and then we'll close this up. I apologize. But, I'm in this text thread with the guys from This Little Piggy. Check it out tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern on this channel.
Nice.
And Aaron missed his goal today.
No.
By a lot.
No.
Yeah, I know. I know you get upset with that.
And I usually watch the Thursday shows to find clips.
Yeah, well,
Why?
you should check this one out because it's very funny. Because Aaron immediately goes into, well, we're $95 off the goal. I guess we're not going to hit it this week, but it's cool, man. You guys are great. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. By the way, if someone wants to throw 50 in right now, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like it's never just like, all right, guys, we didn't do it today, but whatever. See you next week. It's always, but there's still time. He's always stalling and waiting and refreshing Venmo and PayPal.
Well, I said this last week because we watched him where he was trying to make 6 perfect weeks. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if we're gonna do it. But he came into the show very cocky. Where he's like, honestly, it doesn't even matter if we hit the goal today because this week's been so good. And I said, on a day like that, where it doesn't matter, don't do the thing where it's like, hey, we're barely even mentioning the goal. Actually, don't mention it. And see if you feel invigorated to broadcast. See if it does something to you.
He can't do it.
No, he can't.
He can't do it. Even this morning's show, he's off by $95 and he's deflated because no one's giving him money. There's no rally. He's playing music, but it's not working. And he goes,
"You music?"
Yes,
yeah,
that's what he was playing today. Yeah,
I was worried about that.
Yeah, and I know that was weird. It wasn't the hype train.
Yeah,
and so he's sitting there and he's deflated and he's like, "All right, well, I guess this music's gonna end and we'll probably have to call it." And then he thinks up this thought and he goes, "Now, Aaron Imholt could donate $100 to Steel Toe." And that would keep us going and keep our perfect week streak.
Damn it, I have to watch this now.
And you have to. And he started to think about it for a minute. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. He treats it like a business. I've never once seen a CEO where he's just like, well, if I buy a bunch of our products, that'll solve our problems. What if I was out there buying, Elon Musk is having this issue with Tesla, obviously.
He's on Tesla lots every day.
Yeah, because you imagine just like, what if I buy 100 million Teslas?
What does this get one for mileage?
Do I get an employee discount if I want to purchase maybe a bulk discount on top of that? I want to purchase a bunch of Teslas. It's a weird way to save your company, in my opinion.
A little bit.
It reminds me of the Homer Simpson episode where he decides to make his living off bacon grease.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the bacon grease from the bacon that Marge is cooking. And Bart explains to him that Marge gets her money from him to go grocery shopping. So by the time it gets to him, it's pennies on the dollar.
Ooh.
And Homer didn't understand that because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Kind of like Aaron Imholt,
Well,
who doesn't understand that his money comes from donations to his show that he was going to donate to keep his show profitable.
Poor guy.
He's retarded. You know who's not retarded? Is Blind Mike. You should go to blindmike.net.
Oh, thank you. That's where all my links are. Sunday at 10 a.m. Me and Craig. I have a Casey Day story that I'll be starting with. So look for that. And then Why Are You Laughing? We just talked about Paul Poundstone. People seem to be enjoying that episode. That's available everywhere you get podcasts. And the next episode that I'm doing will be The Legend of Daniel Bobo Curlin on the Opie and Anthony show.
No shit.
Check that one out. Yes. I want to do Weird Al with you. I was thinking, I forgot to ask you. So that's why I delayed it this week. But
thank you.
Let me know when you're available.
I mean, I have a Bobo story too. I'm sure you know this. He big time.
We'll do a whole episode about when you were on Bobo's sports show. That's a
well, yeah, I was on the sports show.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good showing on my part. But Bobo also big timed me when I was on Compound Media. That's fantastic. I'm excited about that.
All right.
Whoarethees.com for all the links to all the Who Are These podcasts, Who Are These socials, Who Are These broadcasters. I also do the creep off. But the important thing to know is that on patreon.com/Who Are These podcasts, we do 2 bonus episodes every single month. We just dropped one that was me and my buddy Mike Geary going through Julia Fox's book.
Oh, yeah.
I am loving this book. I can't get enough of it. We don't do it often enough. The last one was December. We got to get on a more regular schedule with this because we're never going to get through this 9-hour book, the pace we're going at.
It's
And
fun
I love
now
it.
too, because at
I
first
love it.
there was a time in the middle. Like at first it was fun, and then I think there was a point in the middle where it was like, well, she's just being so ridiculous. Like, are we able to keep doing that? And then this time I was like, I'm all in now.
Yeah.
Because now we have to see where it goes. Now we're invested in this story.
Well, and spoiler, you haven't seen the episode yet. I actually tracked down an Instagram post that Julia put up talking about one of the characters in this book that actually proves that she's lying in the book.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Some of the people are real, but it does prove she's lying.
It's fascinating. So you definitely want to check out the bonus shows that we're doing. Patreon.com/These Podcasts. We appreciate the support. Mike, let's get the F out of here.
Have the day you deserve, everybody.
Anyway, social media, I'll catch you later, man.
Who are these socials?
That's what this audience wants to hear. Like, whoa!
Who are these socials?
I'm the one who should apologize. Folks, what you were about to see is real.
With Carl.
Okay, we got it.
And Blind Mike.
Who could have thought of that?
WATS.
Rocco Orb, $2 says Elon is keying his own Teslas. Don't think that's true.